It's Woodward Sports Live from the Brown Jug in Ann Arbor.
As the Wolverines take on the hairless nuts of Ohio.
Go Blue!
Yeah, we are live from downtown Ann Arbor right now at the Brown Jug. Welcome to the pregame show. My name is Stick. Braylon Edwards going to be joining us. Ryan Armani going to be joining us today. Joey is in the streets of Ann Arbor right now, interviewing people and doing his Joey thing. We're going to check in with him in a little bit. But welcome. Game day is finally here. The big game is finally here, and this is what it's all about. We got some Ohio State fans behind us. It's been a fun scene here at the Brown Jug ever since 8 a.m. this morning. Welcome to the broadcast. This is Woodward Sports. My name is Stick. I got Alex Westfall making sure we look good and sound good today. And it's just going to be a party downtown Ann Arbor, and we're happy to be here. The streets are busy. This bar is busy. It's been this way since 8 a.m. And, we've had some fun with people in here already. I've been able to walk around, talk to some people. And since it's Thanksgiving, it's the time to be grateful. It's the time to say nice things. I wanted Ohio State fans to say something nice about Michigan and Michigan fans to say something nice about Ohio State. And you could probably predict how it went, but here's how it went.
All right, since it's Thanksgiving weekend, I want you guys to say one nice thing about Michigan.
No, absolutely not.
Can't do it.
Hey,
Say one nice thing about Ohio State.
I think it's a good tradition between Ohio State and Michigan. That's what I'll say.
All right. See, that's a nice lady.
I'm thankful for the 8 straight wins you guys have given us. That's
Hey, do me a favor. Say one nice thing about Ohio State.
One.
All right, lady. Oh, look at the pictures. All right. Say one nice thing about Ohio State.
Nothing.
Hey, man, do me a favor. Say one nice thing about Ohio State on Thanksgiving.
Ohio State, man.
One nice thing? One nice thing about Ohio State for Thanksgiving weekend.
Can't do it.
I love how they can't even bring themselves to say one nice thing about the other school, but that's the way it should be. That's the way rivalries are, and this is the biggest rivalry in all of college sports. We can debate it, go back and forth, but to me, there is no bigger rivalry than right here, right now, Ohio State and Michigan. You got number 2 in the country versus number 5 in the country, and this is pretty much it. Jim Harbaugh talked about it. This is when the playoffs start in college football because it's kind of win or go home tonight. Whoever wins is going to move on probably to, obviously, the Big Ten championship, but then from there, the NCAA playoffs, and this is the first game in that mini playoff series. So it's intense down here. Both teams have some big weapons going into today's game. We're going to discuss all of that coming up. Obviously, Ohio State with their big 3 wide receivers led by Olave, and then, you have their quarterback Stroud, and then you move to the Michigan side of the ball, the 3-headed monster now at quarterback. It was a 2-headed monster before last week, but Donovan Edwards, he showed that he is something different. He is something special. He's big. He's physical. He's fast. He was amazing at West Bloomfield as he led them to a state championship last year. And, of course, Ron Bellamy left West Bloomfield to coach at Michigan with him. So, honestly, there's a lot of interesting matchups one-on-one going on today. To me, the biggest thing that I've been thinking of all week long is the defensive end battle. That's where it's going to be won for Michigan. If Michigan really wants to take control of this game and really wants to dominate on defense, it's got to be Hutchinson. It's got to be Ajabo. They have to, absolutely have to dominate the line of scrimmage today. And to me, that's where the game's going to be won. If those two don't have big games, I don't see how Michigan is going to be able to hang with Ohio State. They need to put pressure on Stroud. They need to make him speed up the clock that's in his head. And that way, whenever he does get an opportunity, or there's 5 seconds, maybe he's feeling that there's only 3 seconds, and he makes some uncharacteristic mistakes. Shout out to everybody that's watching right now on YouTube and on Twitter. I see you guys in the chat. Thank you guys for being a part of this. We got Rock Howard, Christopher, MSU Detroit fans saying go green. Hey, get in where you fit in, right? That's how you got to do. My man Speak Easy. It's going to be a wild game today, and I'm looking forward to it. So let's take a look. Uh-oh, what'd you drop your glove? Just random people all over the place here at the Brown Jug, by the way. And we're here with Gypsy Vodka. They're the ones that brought us to the Brown Jug, so shout out to Gypsy Vodka. If you're in Ann Arbor today, make sure you grab something like that right there on the bottom of the screen. Michigan's favorite gluten-free vodka, so thank you to Gypsy for being our sponsor for today. Like I said, Braylon Edwards is looking to stop by. He said he's stuck in traffic right now. And, you know, when I was driving down here, we did the Michigan State game. When we were driving into East Lansing at like 7 in the morning, there were drunk Michigan State kids all over the roads, carrying cases, like dressed up as Spartans. And there was a lot of hype around that game. Pulling into Ann Arbor this morning, it was kind of subdued. Like, there really wasn't a huge party atmosphere going on. When we pulled up to the Brown Jug, there was a line waiting for them to open at 8 a.m. But outside of that, like, Ann Arbor was not like East Lansing was for the Michigan State game. So I'm interested to see how that buzz is playing out. But obviously, as you know, Ann Arbor, huge in tailgating. If you're out on the golf course right now, thank you guys for watching. We appreciate you. That golf course is a crazy spot to tailgate. But let's do this. Let's take a look at this rivalry, because it's not a rivalry if it's one-sided. And unfortunately, it's been one-sided a lot recently for Ohio State. I mean, technically, they've won 8 in a row. Well, let's take a look at the rivalry of Michigan State, or Michigan and Ohio State right now. Throw up that graphic for you. Total meetings, 116. All time, Michigan is leading the series 58-51, 6 ties. The largest victory, 86-0 in 1902. Now, granted, that was, 119 years ago, which is wild to think that these teams have been playing against each other that long. Longest winning streak is Michigan at 9, and that was pretty much at the beginning of the rivalry. But honestly, since, since 2000 and 2005, Michigan's only won 2 games. And the current win streak is Ohio State at 8. You could argue if they played last year, Ohio State would have been at 9 right now. But let's take a look at the rundown of each program. National titles. This is for all of Michigan and Ohio State, not just the football teams. National titles, Michigan has 11. Ohio State has 8. College football playoff appearances. Now this is where it gets interesting for Mr. Jim Harbaugh. He was brought here to get to those college playoffs. He did not. He has not. But this is his opportunity for redemption. And it's funny, as soon as I say that, the Ohio State fans in here are chanting, "We love Harbaugh." And they must. Ohio State college football appearances, 4. They really haven't made any damage during those appearances. But look at overall bowl appearances, pretty even. Postseason bowl record. It's shocking to me that both of these teams have losing bowl records. You would not think that out of Michigan or Ohio State, but it's true. There it is right there in front of your eyes. Rose Bowl appearances, Michigan, steady Rose Bowl appearances in the 80s and 90s, heading out to the West Coast. Ohio State with 15. They both have the same amount of wins. Big Ten division titles. This is where it gets interesting, because ever since the Big Ten switched to those divisions, Michigan hasn't really shown up like they should. Ohio State's sitting there with 9. They have pretty much dominated the entire Big Ten, and Michigan's sitting there with 1. Big Ten titles across the board, 42 for Michigan, 39 for Ohio State. All-Americans, 83-90, and we're going to get into how many pros that each of these programs pump out coming up. Heisman Trophies. I thought this was interesting because I don't remember a lot of Ohio State Heisman Trophy winners. Like, this must be back in the day. But you got 3 for Michigan, 7 for Ohio State, and all-time program records, both looking pretty strong there. All-time win percentage, pretty much neck and neck, 72.7% to 73% for Ohio State. But like I was saying, that's what a good rivalry actually looks like. Uh-oh, and here we go again. the Michigan fans in here keep chanting F Ohio. I don't know if you can hear them in the background. And then Ohio will come back with the OH. Alex, yeah, there we go. And the best part about that Ohio State chant is, you know, if you give them more than 4 letters, they really can't figure it out. So they're just super proud to be able to chant OHIO. You know what? I'm going to see if I can get one of these Ohio cats to sit down with us real quick. Hey, grab that guy real quick. Can you grab this guy real quick? Yeah, bring him over. Here, come here. Sit down real quick. Oh, no. Oh, he's shy? Oh, come on. You're standing in the middle of a Michigan bar chanting, fuck Michigan, but you're afraid to sit down with me? What is going on? Come here. Come on, man. Come on. Let's go. Let's go.
Oh, yeah, let's go.
You got to show some love to the competition.
What's going on, man?
How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling great. This is my first Ohio State-Michigan game. This is something I've been preparing for my whole life.
You're actually going to the game today?
I'm going to the game for sure.
Nice.
I'm going to the game for sure. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. Man, we watch this game every year, and it's surreal to be in Ann Arbor and actually feel the energy.
Yeah, it's going to be nice. You get to sit in like the largest stadium,
oh, yeah.
The big house.
Yeah.
Even though I'm sure you hate Michigan, right?
I hate them.
Why do you hate Michigan?
I hate Michigan because it's Michigan. It's a team up north. I mean, that's what I was raised to do. I was raised to hate Michigan.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's same with me. I hate Ohio State.
And that's okay.
I respect you, but I hate you.
I respect. No, I don't. Hey, look. I respect Michigan, man. But at the end of the day, when it comes to this day, the Saturday after Thanksgiving, I don't have no love for Michigan whatsoever.
So who'd you come up here with?
I came up here with my boy Jameer.
All right.
My boy AJ, he's a Michigan fan. He sucks. But my boy Jameer, man, we've been rocking since the 6th grade, and we've been preparing for this day literally our whole lives.
That's awesome, man. Well, I'm happy to have you in Ann Arbor. Have a good time.
Oh, yeah.
The people in Ann Arbor are awesome. I love this rivalry because it is fun, but it's also like, fuck you.
It is for sure. And, you know, it's all good fun beforehand, but at the end of the day, only one team goes home happy.
Yep.
And that's going to be us.
Okay.
That's going to be us for sure.
What's your score prediction for today?
Oh, I got Ohio State 55-21.
55-20. Oh, damn.
Yeah.
So
my boy CJ, Mr. Heisman Stroud, you know what I'm saying? He's gonna throw that ball, man. He's gonna do this thing. And we got Chris Olave, you know, Garrett. We got Smith and Jigba. You know, we got Master T. You know, it's endless.
Are you not worried about Michigan's
defense? Not at all.
Those two defensive ends can cause a lot of problems for your boy Stroud today.
You know who I'm worried about? I'm worried about Harbaugh, man.
Okay.
Because he might lose his job. I'm worried about his kids. You know what I'm saying? I'm worried about his kids. His kids got to have a place to eat.
Now, let me ask you this. Let me ask, as an outside perspective, do you think Harbaugh should lose his job, though? And, take away the,
Listen,
we
man,
beat him every time. I love him at Ohio State.
Yeah.
But honestly, you look at this guy, you look at where the team is right now, they have a chance to get to the college football playoffs.
Yeah.
They're playing Ohio State, the number 2 team in the nation. They're number 5. Why would you fire the guy that's got you here?
Let me tell you something. This is something that we both know on either side. It don't matter what your record is.
Okay. It's only
if you don't beat Ohio State, and if Ohio State don't beat Michigan, we got a problem. And one thing Jim Harbaugh has never done is beat Ohio State.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't done well against Ohio State, Penn State, or Michigan State.
Let me tell you something. We can win a championship, but if you didn't beat Ohio State or if you didn't beat Michigan, we still got a problem on it. It don't feel the same.
Okay, so let's flip the script.
Okay.
If you lose today, how's that drive home going to be? What you going to be talking about?
Oh, I'm going to be sick for sure.
Okay.
But, you know, if was the 5th, we'd all be drunk, man. You know what I'm saying?
Let's go. 5th Gypsy Vodka, by the way. Do they have this in Ohio?
Okay. No, I haven't heard
sponsor.
of it.
We got to do a shot of this later.
We can for sure.
All right.
Okay, for sure.
Good stuff.
But yeah, man, if you don't beat Ohio State and vice versa, if you don't beat Michigan, it just doesn't feel the same. It doesn't matter what you do afterwards.
Right.
It doesn't feel the same, man.
All right, man. Well, have fun with your boys.
Most
Thank you for
definitely.
hopping on. Some
Thank
of your
you for
boys were
having me
afraid
on.
to hop on, man. Why? They're over here screaming, fuck Michigan to the entire bar. But
Hey.
when I asked to talk to me, they're like, no, I can't. They
Oh,
said
no,
you.
I'll hop on anytime, man.
Right.
What's your name?
I'm Stick.
Stick,
Yep.
Miles.
Nice to meet you, Miles.
Hey, man.
Thanks for rolling out.
Anytime, OHIO. You know what I'm saying? We putting on for Columbus. We putting on for Ohio, man. I appreciate you having me on.
Appreciate it, man. Enjoy your time in Ann Arbor, and I hope you leave with an L. I'm sorry.
Yeah, hey. Well, I we going to leave with a dub, but it is what it is. All right, man. Have a good
All
one.
right, thank you, man. Appreciate it. And that's how it's going to be all day here at the Brown Jug, man. Take the shots behind us of the Gypsy vodka. I love it. It's a party here. Joey's here. Joey was out on the streets already. Anthony, how's it going? You want to hop in right now, Anthony? Yeah. Let's hop in, Anthony.
Just got done walking in the cold, so I'm a little roughed up here.
How's the crowd outside?
A lot of maize.
Yeah.
Haven't seen a ton of Buckeyes out there.
Yeah,
so.
you know, I'm shocked how many Buckeyes they actually allowed in here. If I was the bouncer, I'd be like, oh, sorry, we're packed, and then let every Michigan fan right
They
by.
tend to invade.
Yeah.
You'll see what it's like in the stadium today. So.
Well, really, the only bars open early here were the Blue Leprechaun and Brown Jug.
Okay.
You know, there was nothing else up and down this strip that was really open.
Yeah, I parked on maybe the west side of downtown, and it was kind of quiet over there. But I think everyone's just kind of game day, and Fox Sports are over by the stadium. So
Yeah.
good atmosphere, though. I mean, it's so exciting. So much on the line today.
Can't beat the Woodward Sports pre-party, though.
No, this is a nice little setup here. You
it's
guys
great.
have an easier job getting in here than I do. So
Yeah. For everybody watching right now, I always confuse, is it Brom or Broom?
it's Broom.
Broom,
Yep. I've
okay.
heard the puns. In fact, when I was in middle school, people used to call me Stick. So this is stolen valor.
Oh.
As far as I'm concerned. No, I'm just kidding. It's all good. It's so good to be here.
So Broomstick, that's what they used to call you?
Yep.
Huh.
Yep. Stick.
I like it. It fits.
Yeah. You know, I've heard it all.
Well, you are now working for the Wolverine.com. You cover Michigan intently, and you cover them like very deep. And how are you feeling going into the game today?
I mean, Ohio State's favored for a reason, right? Like they are a juggernaut. They are every bit the team that we expect them to be. I'm kind of surprised that the line is where it is, where Michigan's only a touchdown underdog, but they're going to have a chance. I mean, this isn't a game where it's not like they're going to have to pop a bunch of trick plays to win this game. I think if Michigan plays their best football, this can be a game going into the fourth quarter, which, given how the last few editions of this thing have gone, that's all they can really ask for. So they have a puncher's chance. We'll see what happens. I mean, Ohio State is where they are for a reason, and Michigan has had a lot of work to do this year to get ready for them.
Right.
But, yeah, they've got a shot in this game. They do.
I feel like Michigan's peaking at the right time. You know, like that loss to Michigan State obviously hurt, but I would rather have that loss now and then potentially win today than vice versa, right?
Yeah, and it's not like they played poorly either. I mean, they left some opportunities on the field, and people will say, oh, officiating, fact of the matter is they had a 16-point lead and didn't close it out.
And you gave up 5 touchdowns to one guy. Like, officiating aside, anytime you give up 5 touchdowns to somebody, it's not going to work.
Right.
It's not working.
The thing of it was, though, like, throughout the year, like, they've had a couple blips on the radar here and there. The Rutgers game early on in the year was a disaster in the second half. But what Michigan fans wanted to see from week 1 to where we're at now is improvement every single week. Get better each week. And, you know, there were questions about can they pass the football. I think they're not Ohio State, but I think they've answered that. They can zig when other teams zag and when teams load the box to stop the runs. So, and the defense has been, I mean, scheme change, completely ripped it down, build it back up, and they have been everything they could have asked for and more. So, yeah, they are peaking at the right time, just like the team that they'll face today is.
Yeah. I mean, last week were pretty much get-right games for both teams. And we saw some interesting things out of Michigan that we really hadn't seen throughout the season. You know, Donovan Edwards being one of them. That was kind of like an ace in the hole that they kept till last game. And they're like, all right, let's show off what this kid has. And Stan Edwards, Braylon Edwards' dad, was on Woodward Sports earlier this week. And he was saying he's never seen a freshman running back be that comfortable in the wide receiver role.
Yeah. Well, that's part of the reason why they recruited him, too. He's got a little bit of, like, Alvin Kamara type stuff to his game. And that's, you know, you don't make the direct comparison, but, you know, he can run between the tackles. He can get out on the edges. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. So that's a guy where, and again, it's just a matter of opportunity. Like, if Blake Corum wasn't hurt, that guy doesn't really get in the game and have the opportunity to make the impact that he does. And what we'll see in this game today, and it happens every single time, and most of the time it happens for Ohio State, there is an X factor that comes somewhere, like a star-making performance. I think of 2018, that was kind of Chris Olave's breakout game. Now he's the seasoned vet and the star on Ohio State.
Go
but they are here. They are. They made it out.
And they can spell 4-letter words. Did you know that?
They can't. I've heard many of them. Trust me.
I tried to get them to spell
Columbus.
Michigan, but they couldn't make it through. They got the M-I-C-H out, but that was it. That's all they could do.
Yeah. They usually block out the M's this time of year, so I'm surprised they even brought that up. But yeah, I mean, this is the type of game. You talk about the Donovan Edwards. Michigan has someone in the secondary, a true freshman, and Rod Moore, who's broken out in the last few weeks. Like, someone in this game is going to affect how it goes that we don't expect it to. It could be a freshman. It could be someone on special teams that blocks a punt. That's typically how it goes. And for Michigan, like, not only is the margin for error so small for them today, one of those guys has to come out and have some kind of a breakout performance.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Outside of the defensive line dominating, like, to me, that's the major matchup within the matchup. Like, if those guys aren't putting pressure on Stroud constantly, I don't think Michigan really has a chance. Like, that, to me, that's the most important matchup. But outside of that, I think special teams has to play a role because somebody has to get that unlikely score. And Michigan kind of set it up last week with their throwback punt, which was interesting. Some people were saying, why wouldn't you hold on to that to this week? Other people were saying, well, it's smart to use it last week because now Ohio State at least has to prepare.
You put it on film.
Yeah, you put it on film, and now one of their gunners has to take that guy no matter what, right?
Yeah, I didn't have an issue with them doing that last week because it's something they saw on film. They said, hey, if this kick comes in low and this is the situation, it goes to Mike Barrett, hey, we're going to toss this across the field. Right. Because there's an opportunity there. So if they see something, I mean, their special teams has been so strong this year. If there's something that they see on film from Ohio State, you could see some kind of trick play or a hook and ladder on a kickoff. I don't know. A fake punt, fake field goal. I don't know. I mean, they are going to throw the kitchen sink at them today. This isn't the narrative all week has been we're not going to show up to this game and play scared like maybe teams in the past have. They are going to empty the tank, and there's a good chance they could play their best game and it might not be good enough. They could still lose by 2 scores, but I think that they are going to empty the tank, so to speak, and just give themselves a shot somewhere. Trick play on offense, something, disguise the coverage on defense, whatever it takes.
Similar to the Lions playing the Rams, just throw it all out there. Just bring out every tool. Except Michigan has a shot.
Michigan's not quite that hopeless today. But the record recently in the rivalry has been what it is. I mean, they've won 2 of these in the past 20 years, 15 out of 16.
That's what's crazy to me is you look at, the past records, and I was having this conversation around the Woodward Sports Studios this week. Some of the guys that work with us are like 20, 21, 22. They've seen 2 wins in their entire life.
Yeah.
It's weird to, they don't know the historic program that Michigan actually was up until the early 2000s.
Yeah, I mean, full disclosure, the last time they won in 2011, this was a past life for me. I wasn't in the media. I was working elsewhere. I never even saw that game live. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't even believe it happened or not.
You've never seen Michigan beat Ohio State live?
Not live, no.
Wow.
No. I remember stuff from a kid, but, you come online to a sports fan a little bit later for me, and it's just, I've never seen it. I've seen some good games. I was in Columbus in 2016. It's a coin flip, but, like I said, at some point, water has to find its level. Right? A broken clock is right twice a day is what they say, right? So I can't predict a win today, but like I said, I just think they're going to there's so much on the line for everyone in this game, whether it be draft position or Jim Harbaugh and your long-term outlook, what this thing is going to look like. There's so much on the line, and like I said, if their best isn't good enough today, you can kind of take your hat off to a job well done. But what they can't do is shoot themselves in the foot, turn over the football, have a busted coverage. They got to keep these Ohio State wide receivers in front of them.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a big key in this game today.
What's interesting to me about this whole rivalry and how it's set up over time is, obviously Michigan dominated early. Ohio State has dominated late. But like you were saying, if Michigan wins this game, how do you think this game lines up in the history of this rivalry? I think it's one of the bigger games in the history of this rivalry, outside maybe the 1-2 game. What was that, 2016?
It was 2006 was 1 versus 2.
Yeah,
2016 was, I think, maybe 3 versus 2.
Okay.
But they've, in recent memory, Jim, just looking at the Jim Harbaugh era, they've had 2 cracks at Ohio State to win the Big Ten East. Both of those were in Columbus. They haven't played a game in Ann Arbor with this much on the line, ever, period. So, like I said, when you talk about how this will go down in history, if they're able to pull it off, it's huge. It would be one of the bigger ones, because now you're talking, and again, whatever happened, what's happened before now has happened. 0-5, probably would have been 0-6 if they played last year. A win today does not erase all of that, but it makes all of it null and void, because the only thing that matters is what happens next.
Right.
It has implications. You play in Indianapolis next week. It has recruiting implications. It has contract implications for Jim Harbaugh. This is probably the most consequential game in the modern history of Michigan football, honestly.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot on the line.
Yeah, when you really think about it and you think of where they're ranked and what this means, Ryan Day is obviously on his ascension. He's going to get his extension eventually, and he's got to be happy about the Mel Tucker extension and the Franklin extension.
Those 2 guys have been making a lot of people a lot of money this year. So.
Yes, Ryan Day's just sitting there just counting his money. But then you look at, Ryan Day's on the upswing, and you look at Harbaugh. I'm a big keep Harbaugh guy. I don't understand why anybody would ever get rid of him, especially where you're at right now.
Sure.
You're playing for a chance to get to the college football playoffs. That's what you want. And yes, granted, you want him to beat Ohio State. You want him to beat his rivals. But at the end of the day, 11-2 isn't bad. What, you're going to bring in a guy that's going to get you over that?
Yeah, here's the thing is, they could lose by 50 or lose by 5 today. He's not going anywhere. And you don't. 10 games is, considering what came last year, 2-4, that's a huge improvement. Now, you have to be competitive today, because I think that'll take a lot of heat off of whatever that other option is. But the fact of the matter is, lose today, you're probably going to the Rose Bowl. Win today, you're going to Indianapolis next week with a shot at the playoff. Lose in Indianapolis, you're probably going to the Fiesta Bowl in a New Year's Six game anyways. So, you have to win one of those bowl games. They haven't done it since Jim Harbaugh's first year. And use it as a springboard into something else. But like I said, right in the here and now, no one expected this team to be playing for this. On this weekend last year, Michigan was playing Penn State, who was, I think, had started 0-5 or 1-5 or whatever it was, and lost. It was a disaster. And that was the last game they played last year.
Yeah.
The turnaround they've had is incredible. It doesn't, if they, I don't think they get blown out today, because it's just not in this team's DNA for this group.
Right.
So they could, like I said, they could play well and lose by 2 scores, lose by 8 points, 10 points, whatever it is. But I don't think they're going to back down or look scared today.
Yeah, I hope not. Honestly, I hope not. I love Ross in the middle. I love the defensive line. And they really got to come out and punch them in the mouth. And I think they have the team that's able to do this. With Michigan State, you have Kenneth Walker, right? Yeah. That was it. That's really all they have. Mm-hmm. And once you took him away, he had 6 carries in the game. There really wasn't any threat. They took him out early. With Michigan, you have your big 3 running backs, and they've proven that they can pass the ball, so that they can mold themselves a little more to this game. People are agreeing, though, that Harbaugh should be fired. Buffed Up says Harbaugh should get fired if they lose. Brenton says he should get fired.
And listen, I understand that sentiment, because this is year 7, right? And he was brought here to win these types of games. But like I said, Michigan fans should expect more. They should. This is what this game should mean, the game we're playing today.
Right.
Michigan, Ohio State, Big Ten East title on the line. And where it goes from there, we'll see what happens. But, like I said, Michigan's not the only team that has an Ohio State problem. The entire Big Ten has an Ohio State problem.
Yeah, that's true.
Ryan Day hasn't lost a game in Big Ten play yet. Now, is Michigan probably the best suited program to do that with all the resources they have, the players they have? Yes, probably. You have to compete today. But if they don't compete today, it's going to be ugly on Monday, and we'll have that, we can have that conversation. But I think regardless, 2022 is, I think it's pretty much settled there.
Well, I don't want to have that conversation. I'm sick of having that conversation, to be honest with you. How long have you been covering Michigan now?
This is year 7. So I've been here as long as Jim has. Maybe it's my fault.
Yeah, you got here with Harbaugh?
Yep.
Oh, man. Out of all the games that you covered, you most hyped for this one?
2016 was a big deal.
Okay.
And that was and you go to that place. I'm not saying that the atmosphere won't be great today, but you go there and it's the Lions' Den. Today, I haven't been by the stadium yet. I'm headed over there right from here. I expect this to be, there's so much on the line, and to a certain extent, there's less pressure on it because they've lost this game a bunch already. Right? So it's you just go out, play your best football, and see what happens. I'm super excited for the chance to be there and watch it and see what happens. I'll be in the press box. I'll be warm.
I was just going to ask you, what's your game day experience like? You got the press passage, which is awesome. Mm-hmm. So you sit in the press box. How's that tone up there?
It's God bless the media. I know a lot of places wouldn't always say that, but there's always a guarded kind of, because it's very chill up there. It's a working press box, as they say. There's no cheering up there, none of that stuff.
That always blows my mind. Honestly, because Terry Foster, who does some stuff with us at the Woodward Sports Network, obviously reputable reporter, good writer, and all that. He always cracks on me for being a homer and saying we and stuff like that. I don't think I could cover Michigan, sit in a booth, then make a big play, and me not make a sound. That's got to be tough.
There was an adjustment period for that for a long. Because full disclosure, I grew up a Michigan fan. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing now.
Right.
But there are certain moments there where it's I hate to bring this up on this day, but the Michigan State game of 2015, where something like that happens at the end of the game, and it's just that human reaction of, oh my God, what just happened? Right. But you don't see a lot of. No one's got their faces painted up there and wearing their number 4 jerseys and their Block M hats or anything like that. And you know what? That's fine. It's a nice. I like to watch, especially games like this. Nice, serene, quiet. And if you have to scream at something, just go into the bathroom.
You go cry in the bathroom after a bad loss. Well, man, I really appreciate you stopping by. I know you don't have much time today, so the fact that you were able to squeeze in here and make it work, I appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing your articles on thewolverine.com and all your coverage. And just appreciate your insight into Michigan, man.
It's very kind of you to say. Thank you so much for having me, and we'll talk to each other soon, hopefully.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. We'll have a great game day. We'll talk to you soon. Braylon Edwards, Ryan Armani, and Braylon Edwards' dad were on earlier this week on the Woodward Sports Network talking about how Michigan can win this game, and here is how that conversation went.
I got to give me some of that.
Armani and Edwards, the bottom line, Woodward Sports Network, Brian Armani, Braylon Edwards, Stan Edwards in the house as well. Guys, Michigan, Ohio State, what needs to be said? We have been wanting this game to mean this for so long, and now it does. Braylon, before I come to you, on Stan, just your big picture take on how we got here, Stan. Are you surprised that we are here?
A little bit, because it's only happened in 1 year. But I think how we got here is it appears, and I don't know for a fact, but I hear whispers that Coach Harbaugh has kind of changed a few things in the culture around the building and within himself. He's kind of viewing assistant coaches a little bit differently than he's hired in the past. It looks like I don't think he was so hard on the players that they were too rigid, because I saw a lot of things, him doing the rap video, 4 or 5 years ago. But I think it's a little bit looser. But you got to be careful about being too loose with kids who aren't ready to play and perform. Mm-hmm. These guys are coming to play and perform, and he's allowing them a little bit more latitude in how they show their exuberance throughout the game. So I think one of the ways they got here is, one, they're coaching a lot better. Mm-hmm. He's got some players that have really bought into the program, and they're physical. I think Mike Hart, I think moving Shamar Moore to offensive line coach. I think
Coach Klink, defensive backs coach.
Yeah, and I'm going to talk about him in just a second. And Coach McDonald, the defensive coordinator. Got caught a couple of times, with substitutions. Got to realize they don't go in the huddle in college like they do in the pros. He seems to have that figured out. But I think this team, they have to be very, very particular about what they do. They have to take shots. Don't want to get into a track meet, but you got to make them run and chase you also. they have to play on defense old style Bo Schembechler football, because this wide receiver core for Ohio State reminds me of the running back core I had at Michigan when we won the national rushing title. Butch Woolfolk had 1,200 yards. I had 900 yards. Butch's backup, Larry Rooks, had 800 yards. They got 3 receivers that might be going over 1,000 yards. That's crazy. So make them catch the ball in front of you, and you got to make the tackle. Are they going to be patient enough, they being Ohio State, to throw 5 10-yard passes, 5 10-yard passes, because the defensive backs are off? But the trick is, do I play 7 off? Do I play 5 off? Do I play 10 off? When I come up to make the play, do I get there in time enough to try to hit him as soon as he catch it? Or do I need to break down so he has to turn and face me, and then he have to move? Because a lot of times, if you're caught and you've already made the commitment, he catches it and he shakes, he spins, and he might be gone for a while. So they got to be careful about how they do that. They got to keep everything in front of them.
And Braylon, that kind of leads into you. How do they go ahead and win this football game? I believe they have a chance to win the football game. I think you guys do. How do they actually do it?
I wanted to touch on something that you asked my father. My father just kind of like laid out the plan. The first thing you said was, you're like, are you surprised that they're here, and how did they get here? I think everybody is surprised. Like, now, the level of your surprise is the answer. Because you said they were going to go 11-1 and beat Ohio State. You said that. I didn't. But to get to where they are, you talk about the coaching, you talk about McDonald, you talk about what they've done on defense, you talk about Aiden, you talk about the rise of David Ojabo, you talk about Daxton Hill, you talk about Cade McNamara not turning the ball over, you talk about the rushing attack, you talk about the line, taking care of Cade McNamara, taking care of Blake Corum and Hassan Haskins, and also Donovan Edwards. That's what they've done well. That's how they've got here. Other side, this is more on the negative side. They got it also because you look at the schedule, and this is what we're going to talk about when we get to the college football playoffs and how they may potentially get jumped. You look at that schedule, it's like they call it Penn State with, situation, or they weren't playing their best football. Sean Clifford was struggling. You look at Indiana, they outplayed them. Northwestern is not good this year. Maryland's not good this year. So a mixture of changing the culture with Harbaugh and the young coaches, 6 of 10 coaches, all young, under the age of 42, and then also the schedule. Now, how do they win this game? What my dad said, just extending on that, one, you got to play man-to-man at the line of scrimmage. You got to press these wide receivers. Because what's happening is, because these wide receivers are so good, most teams play off. Most teams play off, and they're like, we'll play off. We'll try to see what these wide receivers are done. We'll give ourselves some leeway. We'll give ourselves some space. If you don't have defensive linemen that can get to the quarterback, playing off doesn't matter, because he's still able to take his time, relax and chill, and let the routes develop. Let the wide receivers get open. You got to check them at the line of scrimmage. Daxton Hill has to put his hands on Jackson and Jigba. Turner has to put his hands on Chris Olave. They got to get their hands on him at the line of scrimmage, because that will help David Ojabo as well as Aiden Hutchinson get to the quarterback, have some time. Also, were you about to say that?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Also, what they're doing now, they're peaking at the right time in terms of adding talent, like exposing talent that they have, showing talent. You saw last week, Donovan Edwards. That's another thing.
I was actually shocked at how much he looked like he belonged, Braylon, really as a freshman.
That's a secret weapon, man.
He didn't even just look like he belonged. He looked like he was ready for the show.
I'll one-up you on that. He looked like he was the best player on the football field, actually.
Yeah, he did.
Is he a running back or is he a wide receiver?
Yeah, I've never seen a running back look that comfortable as a freshman in the passing game.
You got it.
So,
never.
No, not at all, 100%. So use the things that you've shown later in the year, the things you're exposing now. Schoonmaker, tight end success. That's how Michigan traditionally has always been good. Tight end success, Michigan's always been good with that. You can go all the way back to Jeremy Tillman and Keith Bossick. The list goes on.
Look at Benny Joppru.
The guy I played with. You look, Jake Butt. Yeah. But anyway, Schoonmaker and that's another one. Also, you have Donovan Edwards, and you have Sanistril. Sapase to Mazo. He's Haitian. Sanistril, you see the one-hand catch that he made. You look at Brown. You look at the things that they're doing. Roman Wilson is back. Cade McNamara is taking care of the ball. So they're exposing players at the right time. Also, keep the Bucks off the field. Keep the Bucks off the field. You had at one point, before Corum got hurt, you had the number 1 rushing attack in the country. You got Corum back, and you have Donovan Edwards now. Keep the Bucks off the field, because you actually have a chance to do so. Mm-hmm. You have a chance to do so.
Now, when they are on the field, here's where the chess match comes in. David Ajabo doesn't play a lot on running downs.
Nope.
He doesn't get a lot of snaps. He's going to have to be in there and running down because this team passes on first down a lot. So what you don't want to is have Stroud going back to pass and Ajabo on the bench watching. But here's the gamble that I'm talking about, the chess match. I'm sure when 55 is on the field, they're going to audible to a run play to him. He's going to have to step up and play the run, which is why he don't play the run. He's not on running downs right now.
Here's an interesting thing, and I sat back and I did some notes. I did some research. Maz, you know me, I'm dialed in. I'm on my laptop.
Got
I'm
those
writing
notes. I already seen
between
your notes.
mental and also looking at it.
Maz steals them all. Trust me, he gets a peek of those notes before we go on the air.
He does. He steals a lot of my takes. No, I'm joking. If you look at these teams, okay, and if you look at these teams and you compare them head to head, okay, this is going to be an interesting take. You can take it how you want to. If you look at them head to head, Michigan's the better overall team because they're better in all three phases. Special teams, they got 3 kick returns for touchdowns this year. They almost had a punt return for touchdown. They got 2 block kicks this year. And then they got one of the best kickers in the country. He's only missed 2 kicks. Jake Moody. So
unsung hero is Jake Moody.
100% because he won us that Nebraska game. So legitimately, kind of like Adam Finley did us almost with Ohio State in 2002. But special teams, we take that. Defense, it's not even close. Defense is not even close. We have the better defense. Now offense, they win. It's not even close on that. They win, but it's closer than you think. If you add that up, we win defense, we win special teams, and they have us on offense. We're the better overall team, just like we were in the Michigan State game, but we match up better against Ohio State. We're the better overall team.
What's happened over the years when both teams have been good? The game has been played where?
The person with the lower ranking always wins. So like
it's been played in Columbus.
Yeah.
This time they're both
you're
good,
right.
and you're playing at home.
You're so right. And here's what's interesting about that too is I think Michigan is going to have to take shots. You want to shorten the game, you want to control the clock, but you're going to have to take some shots over the top.
I asked Braylon this yesterday, and I'll ask you the same question today. How many points did they have to score to win this football game? I want your answer for it next. This is Armani and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Yeah, so that was the conversation that they had during the bottom line. I'm actually going to get Ryan Armani on the phone right now. We are calling him, making sure that we can, check in with Ryan Armani. He's a big Michigan guy, obviously. He went there. Him and Braylon do the show every day on the Woodward Sports Network. Ryan, are you there?
Good, baby. Yes, sir.
How you doing, Ryan? You're stuck in traffic right now?
I am. I'm on State Street. I got my beautiful bride with me. She is a little bit scared for me today. She's scared for herself, actually, because I'm a bit of a maniac today. But it's all good, baby. It is the Michigan-Ohio State game. It is here, Ann Arbor, Michigan, and we're ready to rock and roll. How you doing over there at the Brown Jug? I'm sorry.
It's been great here all morning long. There was a line at like 8 a.m., people trying to get in. And, honestly, it's been a fun crowd. The Michigan and Ohio State fans have been giving it to each other here at the Brown Jug, chanting back and forth. So it's been a really good vibe here in Ann Arbor so far this morning.
That's what it's all about, right? I mean, sports is great, and sports can be respectful, and sports can have some back and forth and all the chatter. That's what makes this a rivalry game, right? I mean, all that back and forth. And, I'm driving in on State Street right now, and I see some scarlet and gray, a lot of fans walking to the big house. And what's better than this?
Nothing, honestly. And, I was just talking to Anthony Broom from the Wolverine.com, and we were just talking about the scale of this specific matchup at this time in the rivalry. This could be one of the biggest, if not the biggest game in this rivalry.
No doubt. I mean, right. I mean, you have to go back to 2006, 1 versus 2. And that was probably the biggest that it will ever get, as big as it can possibly get. And this is the same thing for all the marbles. I mean, a trip to the Big Ten championship game in Indianapolis week, and of course, the right to play in the college football playoff, which, the last time Michigan won a Big Ten championship, Braylon Edwards was on that team. And And now he does a show with me on Woodward Sports. That's how long it's been since Michigan won a Big Ten championship. So he's got everything in front of him today.
Yeah, your phone's breaking up a little bit, but the last time they won against Ohio State was 2011. We got some of those highlights ready to rock. And, yeah, I was talking to Anthony and another kid here, actually an Ohio State fan, and Michigan's only won twice since, 2000. There's kids that are 20, 21 years old that don't really know that this is a real rivalry. They've only seen it be a one-sided rivalry, so hopefully Michigan can get back on that horse today.
Without question, they won in 11, and then before that it was 03. So since 2004, Michigan has won this game one time, and that was 10 years ago. And that was in a year, really, Stick, you got to think about that, when Luke Fickell was the interim coach at Ohio State. That's how bad it got for Ohio State. And then ultimately they hired Urban Meyer, and the rest is history. So Michigan's got their work cut out for them today, but I feel as good about this game as I have in the last 15, 20 years.
What do you think about how that last week Michigan State minus 19, this week Michigan minus 7? So, I mean, we're talking that Vegas is giving these guys a shot, right?
No doubt. And I think a lot of people, Tom Mazaway was one of those guys. He couldn't believe the number was just 7 when it came out last week. And that's just showing a lot of Michigan respect right there. And look, people always bet on Michigan. Michigan gets a lot of money. So that's one of the reasons why the number was so low, because you're trying to balance that out. But I do believe that shows a lot of respect for the Michigan Wolverines. And the difference between Michigan and Michigan State can't get to the quarterback.
Yep.
Everybody's been talking about it. I mean, C.J. Stroud had more touchdown passes than he threw incomplete passes. And that's just a fact that C.J. Stroud had all day back there to throw the football. That cannot be the case today. If it is, Michigan's in for a big beat down here in Ann Arbor. But if their best players are their best players, and we talk about this all the time. In big games, Stick, your best players have to be your best players. David Ojabo and Aiden Hutchinson have to get to the quarterback today. They cannot allow him time to move back there and just pick apart the Michigan defense. They have 3 first-round caliber wide receivers at wide receiver, does Ohio State. And the only way you can protect against that is if you get to the quarterback, if Stroud doesn't have all day to throw back there. So that is the key to the game as far as I'm concerned. And Cade McNamara is going to have to make some plays. That kid has gotten better each and every single week. And if he plays his best game today, you don't have to play perfect. There is no such thing as a perfect game. But you have to connect on those deep passes when you have an opportunity to do so. You got to convert on third down at a clip around 50%. And we'll see what happens. But I do believe Michigan has a strong chance to win this football game. Not only stay close, but win.
Yeah, I think me and you are on the exact same page, because that's what I've been hollering all week long. If the defensive ends do not dominate this game for Michigan, Michigan really cannot win this game. It needs to be a dominant performance by that defensive line.
And Stick, if not now, then when? Right? I mean,
right.
We talked about this in the beginning of the season. You have the game at home. Ohio State has a first-year quarterback in C.J. Stroud, and you have 2 players on your defense that are going to be drafted in the top 10 of the NFL draft this coming April. So if you can't beat Ohio State when you have that caliber player on your defense, when are you going to beat Ohio State? Are you going to go to Columbus next year and beat them? It has to be this year. They've got to get the job done today.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's one thing that unites everybody, and apparently Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas. It just came on here at the Brown Jug, and Ohio State fans were singing and Michigan fans were singing, and it just became one big glorious party here. So, yeah, that's what's going on at the Brown Jug right now. You throw on Mariah Carey, it gets popping here, apparently.
Well, she's a beautiful woman with a beautiful voice. That unites us all.
Well, man, enjoy the game. Sorry you're stuck in traffic right now, but thank you for calling in. I appreciate you. Have fun and go blue.
Go Blue, baby. You rock, man. Way to go, my friend. Go Brown Jug. We love it there at the Brown Jug.
Appreciate you, Armani. Have a great day, buddy.
You too, Sid.
Ryan Armani from the Bottom Line right here on the Woodward Sports Network. He's on every day, Monday through Friday, with Braylon Edwards from 2 to 4 p.m. Braylon also stuck in traffic right now. I'm not exactly sure where he is, but I know when Braylon rolls up in this bar, it's going to go crazy, because I was talking to the Ohio State kids earlier, and a lot of them like Braylon because they're from Cleveland. So there you go. I mean, Braylon is universally loved around here. Ann Arbor all the way to Cleveland. Is Joey ready? Is Joey out on the streets? 1 minute? Okay, Joey's out on the streets of Ann Arbor right now, so we're going to check in with him. I got to say what's up to everybody in the chat right now. I mean, we're gearing up downtown Ann Arbor for the big game, the game, number 2 versus number 5. It's going to be a scene inside the big house today, and if Michigan comes out and takes control early, my goodness, the big house is going to be rocking. I'm going to share my experience in the big house at an Ohio State game coming up later on in the show, but it explains why I hate Ohio State. And this is from, I believe, the 97 game when I was there. And just wait till you hear this story. But shout out to everybody in the chat right now. Elijah must be able to, must be nice to go to a bar and live a slightly normal life. In Canada, we're still wearing masks indoors. Okay. Yeah, a bunch of my buddies own bars in Windsor, and it's been a weird thing over there. Let's see. Got to say hi to Paul. Got to say hi to Jack, Justin, and the rest of the crew in there. But, yeah, we are live at the Brown Jug right now. We're going over all the things Michigan and Ohio State. It's been a fun morning so far, and we got an hour left before game time. So if you're watching right now, do me a favor, put your score predictions in the chat so we can get to them later, because that's one of the things that Joey's rolling around campus right now asking people is for their final score predictions. Are you ready to roll with that, Alex? No, not yet? Okay. Well, let's talk about – actually, let's bring in Nick Leach. Come on, Nick Leach. Nick Leach is here. One of my favorite people at the Woodward Sports Network. Came out early with us, helped set up. Let's get your microphone looking all sexy.
Get all dialed in, baby.
So what up, Leach?
What
How
up,
you
baby?
doing, man? Oh, don't touch that bottle. Everybody wants that gypsy vodka, baby.
It's good. How could you not want it? Just out running around the streets with Joey a little bit ago. It's crazy out there.
Is it?
I mean, there's parties. There's a food truck at a fraternity. Annie Ann's Pretzels. I had no idea they even did anything like that.
Nice. Did you bring me any?
We may have ate it on the way back.
What are we doing here?
Sorry,
me and Westfall have been here all day.
I know Westfall's already upset with me. So I mean, the atmosphere out there is crazy right now. Now, I mean, I know there's Michigan fans in the chat, but this doesn't really compare to our Michigan State show that we had in East Lansing. I mean, it seemed a bit more rowdier. I mean, granted, it's a bit colder here today, so
right.
But nonetheless, you can feel it in the air right now. It's a big game. It means a lot to Michigan fans, and you can tell they want this win bad. But Ohio State, you got to give credit to them. Like, I mean, they never get tired of winning. Even all the fans, there's tons of Ohio State fans.
Who gets tired of winning?
I mean, you see people in the past, like, they're just used to winning. Like, Ohio State's still bringing it to you every single week in and week out. I mean,
this kid loves winning. Hey, bring this girl in here. Slide on, girl. What you doing? I think that's the first attractive girl I've ever seen from Ohio. Honestly, the girls that have been rolling through here from Ohio. See, that girl's hideous over there.
I'm telling you, I think there might be more Ohio State fans in this bar right now than there are Michigan fans.
That's what I was saying. I was shocked that the Brown Jug would even let these guys in.
8 straight, baby.
8 straight?
8 straight.
You know, Michigan won 9 straight to kick off the rivalry.
I remember.
It was in 1807.
Try beating us not in leather helmets.
But that, honestly, I brought up that point. Like, kids that are 21 years old, I've only seen Michigan win twice. That's insane to me. Like, when I was growing up, you know, you had Charles Woodson, you had, Desmond Howard, who's here in town.
Like, you had Braylon Edwards. I mean, our own coworkers.
But
so.
Braylon only won once against Ohio State. So, I mean, it's crazy to me that these kids, they're 21, they don't know, they think nothing of Michigan, which is wild.
I mean, to be honest, I was born in 93, and I can only remember those 2 wins. So, for me, it's been a long time. That's why, like, you always see the talk, Michigan, like, and especially, like, when Chris Hart came out and called Michigan State little brother.
Oh, Mike Hart.
Or Mike Hart, not Chris, Mike Hart. It's been, to me, I was just like, well, I mean, you guys are getting, like, what does that make Ohio State to you, the father? I mean, not to talk too much shit about Michigan. I do. I mean, I do root for Michigan State over Michigan, but I hope, I want to see Michigan take down Ohio State, because if you're any team inside the Big Ten, you don't want to see Ohio State win the game and go to another Big Ten championship.
No, you can't. I mean, that's what Ryan Armani, who was just on the phone with me, was saying. If not now, when?
Yeah.
This is the year. This has to be the year for Michigan. But both of these programs have turned out such great athletes, honestly, and sent so many people to the pros. I was doing some research about this. These Ohio State fans are insane. But let's look at how many pros are in right now for each of them, because honestly, isn't that what college is for, to get you ready for the next level?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Both of these colleges do a great job of doing that. Ohio State has 63 players currently in the NFL. I thought that was nuts when I saw that.
The only reason, like, I believe that, if you watch Sunday Night Football and they do the player introductions, how many times do you see the Ohio State University?
Oh, that's the most annoying thing in the world, the Ohio State University. But yeah, when I saw 63, I thought that was insane. Michigan has 43.
Yeah, they've got I could be wrong on this. They may have the longest active streak, or one of the longest active streaks, of having a player drafted inside the first round.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken on that. So they pump them out. I mean, you got two more guys that are going to go in the top 10 this year with David Ojabo and Aiden Hutchinson. So, I mean, just look at that list. I mean, you got Tom Brady, Donovan People-Jones, and I feel like Donovan People-Jones is better now in Cleveland than he was at Michigan.
Yeah, that was the thing. He was underutilized. That's always kind of been the problem with Harbaugh, you know? Like, he hasn't been able to find his quarterback, so even when you have a talent like Donovan Peoples-Jones, you're not getting him the ball where he needs to. Same thing with kind of Nico Collins. He showed out a little bit in the maize and blue, but not as much as he could have. But then you got Graham Glasgow playing for the Broncos, Kwity Paye, the #1 draft pick for the Colts last year. Jabril Peppers, one of my favorite players to ever put on a Michigan uniform. And that goes with Devin Bush, too.
I mean, I love watching Devin Bush with the Steelers, but I go back to Jabril Peppers. I remember the hype around him when he was at Michigan. It felt like, to me, like, again, I was young at the time, so I don't remember really when Charles Woodson was at Michigan. So for me, like, that felt like that was your Charles Woodson-esque type player for my generation.
He was. He played both sides of the ball. You know, you'd love to see him when he got on offense, that electricity that he provided. And on defense, obviously, he was an absolute killer. Let's take a look at the Ohio State pros right now. And obviously, like I said, there's 63, so we just pulled out some of them. And, you know, the Lions have 5 Ohio State players on their team, which is crazy to me. It's the most out of any other team in the NFL. The Lions have more Ohio State players. But you look at Justin Fields, obviously the Bears' first-round pick last year. Eli Apple, the DB for the Bengals. Taylor Decker, pretty familiar with him. Michael Thomas, great wide receiver the last couple of years. Definitely been injured, and not the same Michael Thomas that I think we all expect. Jonah Jackson, another Ohio State guy on the Lions. And then, of course, Nick Bosa. You got to love the Bosas.
Yeah, you look at that list, too, and like you said, 63 for Ohio State, 43 for U of M. Like, just think about that when Ryan Day can take that to recruiting and pitch that to somebody and say, like, we make you into the NFL. Like, we
right.
Not that they're guaranteeing it, but 63 players currently in the league for, average, I think the lifespan of an NFL player is 3 to 4 years on average. So, like, even just to get the opportunity to go there, like, that's going to speak volumes to any recruit who could be on the fence with a team inside the Big Ten.
Yeah, that's a recruiting tool for sure. And then you got Jeff Okuda. It's Jeff Okuda. I don't know what else to say about Jeff Okuda, except I hope he gets healthy, and I hope we're able to at least get a safety position out of him in the long run, you know?
Yeah, I know people want to knock him. He hasn't been healthy. He hasn't played well. Like, I look at the growth that Amani Oruwariye has made this year with the Lions, and that's kind of the year I was hoping Jeff Okuda would make too. So I do think that's still possible. Like we've always talked about, like defensive backs take the longest to mold into NFL players. So right. I'm not giving up on Okuda just yet. I get when you take him at number 3, he's definitely should be doing more than what he's done now. But
a lot more?
Yeah.
A lot more? But like you said, I'm not going to throw him out yet. I just hope that we can turn him into a safety because we know coming back off this injury, he's not going to have that foot speed, and he really didn't have it to begin with.
Right.
So, maybe he could turn into a serviceable safety. But we got Joey on the streets. Joey's ready to rock. All right, let's check in with my man Joey right now on the streets of Ann Arbor. We are live for the big game at the Brown Jug, downtown Ann Arbor with Woodward Sports.
Hey, Stick, I'm not exactly out on the streets yet. I'm taking a quick leak before I go. But I got two Ohio State guys next to me, and we're at the Brown Jug in Ann Arbor. How does it feel, man, to be pissing on your own logo?
This is messed up, bro. I should have just pissed my pants, honestly. This is bad.
This guy's pissing on the little kid's urinal and on his own logo. What's your name?
I'm Zach. I'm from Ohio.
Okay, man, and what do you think about this game today?
Oh, we're going to smoke them, man.
I am here with Nicole and Amelia, and first what's your predictions for the game today?
Michigan is going to beat Ohio.
And question for you, it's 28 degrees, it's snowing, and you chose to wear a crop top today.
I feel like the confidence really carries. I mean, you got to support the team, got to look cute while doing it, so really just beer blanket all the way. Go Blue!
Hi.
Hi, I hacked in. What's up?
But you got the bucket hat that says Bumble on it?
I do.
Are you actively on Bumble?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So it's all up to you. If you want to swipe right or swipe left, the option is all in your hands.
Yep. He's right. Nice to meet you all.
I think you just went left, though.
We'll see.
And look at this, something that I did not expect to see today, an Ohio State fan with the Michigan fan.
Somebody's got to represent, and that person would be me. Go Bucks, go Buck Nation. That's what we're talking about. No class. They have no class here. You see that?
One of us going home happy.
Oh, this is a photo bomb right here. Photo bomb. Hey. Bong. Hey, let me get a go blue.
Fuck Ohio.
Go blue. Fuck Ohio, baby.
Go blue. Dusky. Fuck Sandusky. Fuck Sandusky. Let's go blue, baby. Go blue.
Hey, let's get this picture real quick. Hey, you got to be a legend when you're sponsored by Bumble.
Yeah, you know what's up. I actually met my girlfriend off of Bumble. Go download Bumble right now. You'll find the love of your life.
Okay, there you go. Give a little live commercial read on behalf of Bumble.
Yeah, so basically what Bumble is a dating.
I know what Bumble is, but just give them an endorsement. Like, listen, I met the love of my life on Bumble.
Yeah, look, so, I was down, I was lonely, no back rubs, and then I downloaded Bumble. I met the love of my life. Now I get infinite back rubs and, cuddling and shit. So, download Bumble. You will find the love of your life. You'll get married and have children, all because of Bumble. Download Bumble right now. Let's fucking go, baby.
And your name?
My name is Niles Booth. Shout out Bumble, all right? Shout out Bumble for sponsoring, all right? Go Blue. Fuck Ohio. I love my wife. All right, let's.
Hey, how you doing, sir? You got an ID?
You want my ID?
Yeah, to get into the party, I need your ID.
All right, cool. Is this actually a microphone?
Yeah, I'm security here. We just got to record everything for quality and training purposes.
All right, cool. You want my ID?
All right, yep, you're good to go.
Thank you.
Oh, ID. All right, I am all over Ann Arbor today, and this is the greatest part about it. There's an Auntie Anne's food truck. How you doing?
Very good, thank you.
So for this interview, the only thing that I'm going to require is some free cinnamon pretzels.
Absolutely.
All righty, so we're going to give you about 30 seconds of our ad time here.
I haven't ordered yet, but I'm going to get a cinnamon sugar pretzel.
My girl, see, that's my girl right there. Cinnamon sugar pretzels, the all-time greatest. Can I get a pretzel real quick, sir? We are out of here, guy.
There was so much stuff going on in that video. The guy with the gallon jug of jungle juice or whatever the hell he's drinking. The drunk chick popping in with her to-go cup with a straw.
Joey is the people's champ out there. It is unbelievable. People love Joey. They come up. They were like, people beg him for interviews. They want to be on screen with him. I mean, how could you not? Like, Joey, the best part of that was him trying to be the bouncer at the gate.
Dude, can you imagine walking up and some random dude just asking you for your ID? You're like, what the hell?
Well,
no.
with the microphone in his hands too. It's just like, what are you doing, dude?
Right. Well, that's Joey on the streets. He's gonna check in coming up in just a little bit. So, wanted to talk a little bit about why I hate Ohio State.
Ooh.
And I think you'll enjoy this story. I think it happened, you were probably 5 years old. I think this was 1997. A good friend of mine, Adam Fazio, his parents, the Fazios, both went to Ohio State. And they were big Ohio State fans. I went to high school with this kid. And so they invited me to the Michigan-Ohio State game with them to sit in the Ohio State section, right?
Oof.
And this was the game, I don't know if everybody watching right now recalls, this was the game that David Boston was kind of talking trash. This was the Desmond Howard return. We're going to get to the Charles Woodson return right after this, but this is a great moment right here in 91. If you all remember Desmond Howard getting this punt return.
Wasn't even born yet there, Stick.
Oh, well.
Not to make you feel old.
But I'm sure you've seen Desmond hit that Heisman pose.
Coldest celebration of all time in college football history.
And this was the game it happened. Ready? 1, 2. Give me that Heisman.
Boom.
Boom. There it is. Like that little moment in history will go down forever. But it's the other iconic punt return that I was there for. David Boston from Ohio State ran his mouth against Charles Woodson. And they got into a fist fight on the field during the game, like punching each other in the helmet. And then Woodson was able to get his punt return to be the backbreaker in that game, and Michigan ended up winning. So like I said, I'm there. I'm at the Michigan-Ohio State game with my friends, you know, the mom and dad and my buddy. And I'm wearing my Michigan gear. I'm cheering for Michigan. This drunk-ass, inbred hick from Ohio. I'm 16 years old at this time. This guy's probably 48, right? Dude grabs me by the back of my collar and pulls me back and starts talking trash to me. And I'm 16 years old in the middle of this sea of red, and this old drunk man is spilling his moonshine or whatever the hell those yokels drink down there, spitting it in my face, calling me disrespectful, and calling me all these names, all because I'm cheering during this play right here. Charles Woodson breaking it, almost identical to Desmond. Almost identical.
And honestly, like if you look at that, I feel like a play like this is going to be something that Michigan needs to win this game. I just don't know if the offense can necessarily keep up with Ohio State. So you're almost looking for an iconic play like this to kind of give Michigan that extra boost, that extra momentum that they need to ultimately win this game.
Yeah. Oh, I wonder if I could see myself in the crowd. That'd be so sweet. But either way, a grown-ass man attacked me when I was 16 years old from Ohio State. So that's why, like, as much as the guy when Joey was on, like, oh, Michigan has no class, Ohio State people are the absolute worst. Not talking about the family that brought me. I love them.
Yep.
But the fact that a grown-ass man would attack a 16-year-old in the stands, and you know me, like, I was tall when I was 16. I was like 6'1".
Yeah.
So I turned around and, you know, we went at it in the stands. Like, that was my first experience with Ohio State, was fighting an old, drunk Ohio State guy.
Did you actually throw some punches
back
at him?
I threw some punches. If anybody grifts you up by the back and does that, you turn around and you punch them in the neck.
Yeah, I guess we are from Detroit. That's kind of how we react. But
well, that's what Shaq was saying about beef stew last night, remember? Like,
yeah,
listen, somebody punches you, that's how you respond.
Yeah,
you got two options. You hit them back or you act like you're going to hit them back.
Yeah, no, I mean, I 100% agree with you. I mean, when I was 16, I was still only 5 foot tall, so I don't know if it would work as well for me. But, I mean, that's just I feel like people have a lot more respect nowadays when it comes to fans. I mean, especially when you have cameras and phones everywhere you go now. So there's a little bit more checks and balances. But if someone did that to me today, you best believe I'm going after him.
Yeah, so that was honestly I didn't care about the Michigan-Ohio State rivalry. You know, I was aware of it, but I really wasn't a part of it. But that's what pushed me to one side. So when Michigan's playing Michigan State, I'm down the middle. I want both teams to win. I want both teams to be undefeated when they play each other. When anybody's playing Ohio State, this is for you, Ohio State. Nobody wants you to win ever. Your fans are awful. Your stadium looks like a toilet bowl. You're in the middle of Ohio, which is a 4-hour delay to anywhere I want to drive to. Like, there's just, outside of Sandusky, nothing I can really say about Ohio. I like Cedar Point.
I did say one time that Cincinnati seemed like a cool town, and I think Braylon actually corrected me and said, well, he's like, they're close to Kentucky.
It is, yeah, you're right on the border.
So it doesn't really count.
So they're more Kentucky than Ohio. And then we got a bunch of, great, Big Dog in the chat can spell 4-letter words. That's amazing. Ohio, good for you.
Boy.
Now spell Michigan. Spell a longer word. See if you can do it, buddy. No, but shout out to everybody in the chat right now. We appreciate you. But that's kind of my little story about how I got into this hating Ohio State.
I mean, that's kind of your fuel for your fire. I don't blame you one bit. My older brother actually went to a school in Ohio, not Ohio State, but he was down there on Saturdays. And he said the people of Ohio, like on Saturdays, are just the worst people in the entire universe. He's like, I've never experienced anything like that in my entire life. He goes, I don't ever want to experience it again. And it just made his hate for Ohio that much more.
Well, think about Columbus and what they have. They have nothing, right? Outside of their football, it's like, small town football. Like that's all they have. This is their pro team because they're not good enough to have real pro teams there. And I don't know, man. I partied once at Ohio State. I went to University of Detroit, and I'm part of the Phi Kappa Theta fraternity there. And there's a division down at Ohio State. So one time we went down there and partied with them. They were fun to party with. They can't drink like us, but they were fun to party with.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard from multiple people that Ohio State's not the biggest drinkers in the world, but
I mean, they like their White Claws.
Yeah, I mean,
they drink their seltzers.
Who doesn't like a good White Claw? Let's be honest here.
But you bring down a bottle of Gypsy vodka, they're going to be intimidated by you.
Yeah.
Wait, what's that? Hard liquor? No.
That's too strong for me. No, the question I actually wanted to ask you too is, you look at a guy like Ryan Day. And a lot of people still say it's still Urban Meyer's team. It's still Urban Meyer. Do you think that at all, or do you think he's built the program even better than when Urban, or he just capitalized or took the further steps to where they're at now?
It's Urban Meyer's system, but as we've seen, it's not Urban Meyer's team. I think they're even more prolific on offense than they were when Urban Meyer was there, and that's what's scary. Like they were good when Urban Meyer was there, and they've even ratcheted up even more with Ryan Day, and they've been dominant under him. Like after Urban left, I was like, all right, Michigan's finally going to get their shot, and no.
Ryan Day hasn't lost to the Big Ten ever.
No, and he shares my last name, so I'll give him that. Yeah. My last name's Day. But, yeah, I think Ryan Day's a hell of a coach. Honestly, Ohio State's a hell of a program. It's just, they're Ohio State. They're going to break the rules. They're going to bend the rules. They're going to do whatever they have to do. They were doing NIL for the past 50 years to get kids to go to Ohio State. Go back to all those kids selling jerseys and doing jersey signings and taking shoes from boosters. So, I mean, Ohio State is what they are. To me, they're the evil empire, and that's what they are right now, and that's what they'll always be. But, yeah, Ryan Day, you got to respect him, and that's what I said when I was interviewing the kid from Ohio State earlier. Like, I hate you, but I respect you.
Yeah. Ryan Day, to me, he looks like he's got, sweating problems. Like he looks like he sweats a lot to me. I have no idea. That's just every time I see him on TV, he just looks greasy greasy to me. I don't know what it is. Just hardcore, sweaty dad vibes.
So game day's here, right?
Yep.
People stand with the sign behind game day and all that. And one of the signs was Ryan Day moans when he poops. I'd be dying.
We actually, when Joey and I were out a little bit ago, we saw a sign that we actually even threw it up on our social media that it said, LeBron even left Ohio.
And that's true. He didn't want to be there. He took his talents to South Beach, baby.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much really.
No.
Cleveland or Ohio or anything has to offer to you. So
let's take a look at the season stats between these teams and how they match up today going into this game, because we're less than 45 minutes away from kickoff. You can see the bars people starting to trickle out of here and head to the game, and you got your people that are staying here to watch the game. There's some Michigan fans. Every seat's taken in this place, but people are starting to filter in to the big house. But here's a look at the season stats for each team, and I was kind of shocked when I saw Michigan's points scored. I didn't look at them as a huge scoring offense.
No, I mean all year long they've just pounded the ground, and especially in the second half of the games, even when some of the backups come in. We've seen J.J. McCarthy come into the games. The offense doesn't really stop moving. I mean, even their one loss to Michigan State, they still put up 33 points. So
right.
It's been almost like you said, it's kind of been very underrated.
Yeah, well, they're going to have to show out today, but I'll give my final score prediction later, but that's right around where they need to be in my head to win.
Yep.
And then obviously you got to hold Ohio State under 47 points. That's impressive number right there, and it helped last week putting up damn near 100 on Michigan State.
Yeah, when I looked at the line on Wednesday, it was 64.5 points, which for the Big Ten is very rare to see a point total that high. I mean, everyone's always used to the over and under of 45 points or right around 40. A good majority of Big Ten games that I've bet on this year have been right around there. So when I saw this at 64.5, I was like, whoa. I was like, that's like a Pac-12 game you're looking at.
Right, but then you look at the defensive side of the ball. Both defensive kind of hold their own. 16 points a game for Michigan, 19 points a game for Ohio State. And when you're putting up those types of numbers, you would assume your defense would give up some more scores because there's more possessions in the game. But no, both defenses looking pretty strong going into this game.
Yeah, I mean, look at 19 and 6, not allowing over 20 points. Like, that is one has to give today, right? Like, either one team's going to get lit up or one defense is going to get lit up. And, like, there hasn't been a lot of people, too, that have talked about, like, there's not a big name guy on the Ohio State defense. They're one big unit that work very well together. There's not a Chase Young or Jeff Okuda. I mean, you got Seven Banks that is a name, but I believe he's missed a couple weeks now with a few injuries. So to me, there's not like that big cohesive, like that big one name number one pick or flirting up in that top 10. Michigan actually has those two guys this year. So don't sleep on Ohio State just because they don't have that one guy.
Right. Oh, Paul mentioned that Ryan Day likes to sit when he pees, which is interesting. I mean, there's less splashage that way. Let's see. We're getting an average total yards a game. 560 yards a game for Ohio State, 450 essentially for Michigan. So we're going to see some yardage put up today. Average total yards allowed. Once again, Michigan a little bit lower than Ohio State, but they're pretty much in the same ballpark. Giveaways, they both protect the ball pretty well. Takeaways, they both create turnovers. So, you know, when you look at this, it's not evenly matched, but it's pretty close.
Yeah.
You know, it's closer than I think a lot of people would give Michigan credit for.
Well, and it's the offense, right? That's what everyone's kind of talked about leading into this game is can the offense keep up? And, I mean, when you looked at Ohio State's side, I said it yesterday on the BDE show, you got three guys that are going to play football on Sunday that play wide receiver for Ohio State. And C.J. Stroud, I know a lot of people say, oh, the offensive line's giving them all the time in the world, but you still got to make those throws. Like, you still have to hit those receivers. Those receivers are getting open downfield. And give credit to Michigan. The one part I was worried about for them coming in this year was their secondary a little bit. And guys like Daxton Hill have stepped up and have been big-time players. Now, can they keep up with have they really faced Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson? You could maybe talk about Dotson for Penn State is maybe the only comparison. So it's the three-headed monster. They've talked about it. So that's where I think this game's going to be won and lost.
Yeah, to me, I've said it a couple times during this broadcast, it's the defensive line for Michigan that has to win. I do agree, though, they got to stop those wide receivers, and one way, get physical with them.
Yeah.
Like, bump and run, you know, like, get physical on the line of scrimmage, knock them off their route, knock them off their timing, and that should help. If you can knock them off their timing, plus the defensive ends are getting that pressure, Stroud's going to have a rough day.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing is just get to him early, get him rattled a little bit, and just bring some pressure that he hasn't quite seen probably since maybe the Oregon game when he faced Kayvon Thibodeau.
Yeah. Well, Joey's back at it again. He's out on the streets checking in. Let's go to Joey live on the streets of Ann Arbor right now. We are live at the Brown Jug. The game is happening. Michigan versus Ohio State from Ann Arbor.
We are live up on the platform. What's your name?
Lizzie.
And what does today mean to you against Ohio State?
I was born a Buckeye, but I chose to be a Wolverine, so this means everything.
You are probably the greatest person.
I might be. No.
So even LeBron James left Ohio, and you also chose to do the same.
I did choose to do the same. I did.
Oh, and then she's pissed.
LeBron did not leave Ohio.
I'm pretty sure he's in L.A.
No. He's trying to make a famous turn as an actor. He's coming
He's
back.
not an actor.
He is coming back.
Did you watch Space Jam? He is not an actor.
He tries to be an actor, and that's all that matters. LeBron loves Ohio. He is coming back, and he is never leaving.
Let me get a go blue.
Go Bucks! Go Bucks!
What?
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you very much. What's the question?
Do you know what Tyler Cameron's getting here?
No.
You don't. We're all wondering where Tyler Cameron is.
Oh, okay. Where, who's Tyler?
From The Bachelor.
Oh, Tyler's here. Hey, I'm not joking. That's Tyler from The Bachelor.
No, it's fucking not.
Yeah, the guy recording right now, his name's Tyler.
Not Tyler Cameron, though.
No, that's Tyler. You know, he's on The Bachelor, for real.
On what season?
Season number 12.
Season number 12.
I'm serious. That's Nick Leach from The Bachelor. I feel like this is the new ultimate I'm a Michigan girl outfit right here. The dirty Air Force Ones.
These are special, though.
Oh, why are they special?
Not the basic ones.
Oh, they ain't basic. What makes these more than the basic ones?
Got the yellow and the reflector.
Oh, okay. I like it. You got the basic ones. I'm sorry.
I got the basic ones, but they're also iconic, so I don't know.
Oh, why are these iconic?
They're just the iconic frat shoe. I don't know.
You're just iconic, right?
Yeah.
Let me get a go blue from you two ladies.
All right, go blue.
No, you go to Michigan when you got boxed water.
Ohio! Fuck Ohio! And fuck Ohio! You got it all, baby! Let's go!
But back to this. No, this right here.
The beat box.
Boxed water? Is this water? What is this?
Yeah, it's water. It's water.
Oh, okay. I got you.
It's 11%
I got you.
alcohol.
11% alcohol.
Let's go blue, baby!
Go blue, baby. Go blue. Go blue.
Go blue!
Just show off these shirts right here, ladies.
I don't go here.
I don't go here either. I love partying here.
Yeah. I go here.
You got something in your teeth right there? No, I got you. You're good. I'm just looking out. What, do you not want me to tell you that?
No, I actually appreciate it.
All right, really? That's not nice?
No, it was. I'm sorry.
Real friends tell real friends.
Yes, but it's okay.
No, we're not recording anymore. You're good.
Oh, okay.
Get it out real quick.
Stop.
No, yeah, there you go. All right, you're good. You're good now. All right, let's start this interview now. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you? I repeat that I don't go here.
Yes, repeat that part. They did not hear that. We were not recording.
Oh, okay.
Hey, show off your shirts.
I don't even go here.
Wait, what? You don't go here?
No, I go to Bucknell. You've never heard of it?
I never even heard of Bucknell.
Right? No one's heard of it.
Where did you go?
I go to Michigan.
Damn it, it's still in your tooth. I don't know how this girl is even alive right now. How are you not cold?
Oh, I feel great.
It's only 28 degrees.
There's energy in the air.
There's a couple snowflakes coming down.
You can taste it.
How do you feel right now?
Wonderful. Yeah, go blue, baby.
Well, you got to be sipping on something. Yeah, there's something you're sipping on to be able to at least stay warm and not be freezing. Oh, Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper, of course.
Sponsored by Dr. Pepper.
Wow, see?
Oh God.
What happened over here? You were going to say something. Go ahead, just say it.
No, I thought you were Carl.
I am Carl. That's ironic.
Really? What's your name?
Carl.
Oh my God, I'm Grace. No way.
What up? How you been, Grace? I ain't seen you since math class.
I know. It's been a while. Math 105. It's been crazy.
Just fuck Michigan, first of all. That's all I got to say, really.
We're civil
Go
here.
fucking blue. That's all I have to say.
Wait. Why are you friends with these two?
I don't know.
I've been friends for 3 years.
Yeah, and they're from my hometown. I thought I had to show them how Ann Arbor
I'm from San Francisco, so that's a lie.
I had to show them how Ann Arbor does it because Ann Arbor does it better than anyone else. I just hope we smoke you as bad as we did Michigan State.
Hey, I guarantee you this girl don't even go to Ohio State.
I do go to OSU. Are you fucking kidding me?
In high school?
No.
Fuck you.
Hey, is there a basketball over here somewhere?
I got it.
What's your name?
Amy.
Amy, we are playing beer pong basketball.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, damn, they're fighting over there. I got your ass.
It doesn't count.
Oh, I missed.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Did I miss it?
You fully missed it.
This is a true friend test right here.
What was that?
This is a true friend test right here.
Okay.
I need a pretzel. My girl.
That is Joey live on the streets of Ann Arbor. We are inside the Brown Jug right now. The party's going on in here. People are staying warm, but out there, man, people are staying like that was a weird looking Dr. Pepper. I've never seen an orange Dr. Pepper.
Must be a new flavor.
It must be. And then the Ohio State girl that was saying she wouldn't say go blue, but her tongue was blue.
Yeah.
What was in your mouth? I just gotta ask.
Joey, oh, what a beauty. The fact that he got the girl with you got some stuff in your teeth, and he's like, oh, no, we're not recording.
Not only got her once, got her like 4 times. Yeah. Let's take a look at some of the betting lines for this and just some of the insights on how people are placing money on this. I know you have your own gambling podcast. Here are some of the over-under insights for Ohio State. Ohio State and its opponents have gone over the current 64.5-point total in 5 of 11 games this season. So that's a decently safe bet. It's a coin flip. Yep. Michigan games have gone over 64.5 points in 3 of 11 chances this season. So Michigan taking the over, probably not the smartest thing.
No, I took the under in this one. I truly believe it's not going to reach that. You got two of the better defenses, right? Like, you've seen a lot of these offenses not face some of the best defenses across the league, but I just think 64.5 for both these defenses is a ton of points.
Yeah. The combined points per game average of the two teams, 84.1, is 19.6 above Saturday's over-under, which is crazy. So, I mean, that's telling you should take the over for the entire game.
Yeah, and I had a few people telling me, too, that, like, you should take it. But the game, I mean, we've been outside. It's 30-something degrees outside today. It's a little bit colder.
Yep.
A little bit different atmosphere. I think you're going to see more of a classic showdown. I don't know if you're going to see the high-power offense, and I think you'll notice that early. If Ohio State comes out and is gunning right away and is hitting receivers downhill, then that over is definitely should have been the bet. But I think Michigan's defense actually stands pretty strong today, and I think it's going to be a lot closer game than what some people are saying or what a lot of people think.
Yeah, I think so too. And then the final one on these last two squads combined to surrender 35.3 points per game, 29.2 fewer than the contest over/under.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be one or the other, right? It's going to be an absolute shootout, or it's going to be a complete defensive battle. And I do think something's telling me it's going to be defense.
If it's a shootout, I don't think Michigan can win.
I don't think so either. I firmly believe that the defense, you need Aiden Hutchinson, you need David Ojabo, you need those two guys to be the guys that they've been all season long.
Right.
They have to have at least, I think they got to have at least 4 or 5 sacks from the defense today to really put themselves in the perfect position to win this game.
Yeah, it's got to be on the defense. And if I'm in the locker room right now with Jim Harbaugh, that's the message that I'm sending. Like, not that I'm saying offense, you don't have to do your job today. I'm saying defense, you have to do above your job today. You got to be special. You got to be transcendent. Like, everything that we've built up over the past years together, we got to put it together for one game for 3 hours and make history, because you will live with this game the rest of your life.
Yeah. And it's like a lot of people have talked, this is the biggest game in a long, long time. There's a lot on the line. Like, there's a lot that can go. If Michigan wins the game, boom, you go to Indianapolis for the first time.
Yeah,
you get a chance at Big Ten championship with Jim Harbaugh.
Imagine how much that crowd would travel to Indianapolis if Michigan made it.
Right,
like it would be insane.
It would be, and you flip the script to Ryan Day they've been there time and time again, but. You've watched some of his interviews. Like, they did say something nice about Michigan, and nope, nothing. I'm not saying.
I tried that in here earlier, and it did not work out well either.
Yeah, it's just like, and it's a mentality thing, right? And so that's why I think it's going to be so close, because Michigan wants it so bad. Jim Harbaugh, and I think the players want it for Harbaugh more than anything. And I mean, you heard Sanistro come out last week and say, like, we love Jim Harbaugh, like, that's our guy, like, we play for him, he's given us so much, and I think they truly want to try to return that favor for him.
Yeah, I do too. Alex, do we have any more graphics for the gambling that we could throw up right now? And these are more Ohio State stats and trends. Ohio State has played 11 games with 7 wins against the spread. And you know what they say? Good teams win, great teams cover. And Ohio State is covering a little under 70% of the time. So far this season, the Buckeyes have been installed as favorites by an 8.5-point margin or more 11 times, and they are 7-4 against those games. So against the spread, against those games. So once again, Ohio State, if you bet on them, you're more than likely going to win some loot today.
Yeah, you're profitable.
Ohio State has gone over the point total in 54.5% of its opportunities this year, 6 times over 11 games with the set point total. So once again, another reason why you should probably look at taking the over this game. And then the Buckeyes have put up 47.2 points per game, 30.9 points more than the Wolverines allow in their matchup, which we saw earlier was 16.3. So someone's got to give.
Yeah.
Is it going to be the Ohio State offense or the Michigan defense?
I think it's going to be the offense. I truly believe Aiden Hutchinson and Ojabo can be that difference maker. But a lot of people aren't talking about Cade McNamara. They're not talking about Blake Corum. They're not talking about Hassan Haskins, Andrell Anthony. You haven't heard about either. So
at all, really.
And that's what that could be slept on a little bit. But I do think it's going to be low scoring. There's just something in me that's telling me, and I could be completely wrong, but there's something telling me that it's going to be a lot low scoring than people think.
I hope it is because, like I said, that's the only shot that Michigan has to win that game if it's a defensive battle. What's up, man? How y'all doing?
How y'all doing, man?
Good.
Awesome.
Thanks for rolling out.
Hell yeah.
Appreciate it.
Blessed day.
You too, man. The people are so friendly here, man. So
I know.
friendly.
They've been super nice.
Yeah, much better than the Ohio State people that were behind us earlier. And Alex, you got one more for us? Let's throw this up. Michigan stats and trends. So if you're looking at placing some money on this game before the kickoff is roughly 12-10. It's going to be Michigan is 9-2-0 against the spread this season.
That's good.
That's great.
That's really good.
That is great. Michigan games this season have hit the over on 5 of 11 set point totals. So you're at 45.5% there. The Wolverines have put up 17.9 points per game, 36.9 than the Buckeyes allow. So once again, is Michigan's offense going to break, or is the Buckeyes defense going to break? Like, these two teams, as much as everybody thinks Ohio State is leaps and bounds ahead, all these stats and everything we've looked at up until this point show that they're very similar.
It's one factor of the game. It's the passing game, and if you can slow that down, then you give yourself the best opportunity.
Yep. Michigan is 9-2 against the spread and 10-1 overall in games when it records more than 19 points. So that goes to Michigan's got to put up points, but that goes against what I was saying because I want it to be a defensive battle for Michigan to win. So if they got to put up more than 19 points, it may not be a defensive battle. They may be trying to chase some numbers.
Right, and I think that comes in the game plan of what Michigan has to stick to their guns. Even if they go down early, if they go down 7-0 early or 14-0, stick to that run game. Stick to what's gotten you here the whole time. Don't do what Michigan State just tried to do last week and take the ball out of Kenneth Walker's hands and try to start throwing it. Like let your running game still be your factor of what you've done well all season long.
Yeah, and then the last one here, the Wolverines average 447.9 yards per game, 92.2 more yards than the 335 that the Buckeyes allow. So there's another stat that, like, it's got to be bend and break on both sides, and we're going to find out. Hopefully we see an even game today, because that's when I think Michigan will really be able to keep it close in the fourth quarter and then maybe pull something spectacular off today.
Yeah, and that's what we talked about. I mean, we watched those few punt returns. Could you see a big defensive touchdown or something along those lines? I truly believe that's what it's going to take. I just don't see enough offense out of Michigan that if they get down, if we talked about, if it comes to scoring, I do think Hassan Haskin and Blake Corum can be those guys that can truly just pound it.
Right.
And you don't be surprised if you see those guys rush for 3-4 touchdowns today.
Yeah, a strip sack fumble would be huge too.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, something like that, something game-changing, something momentum-changing. That's Michigan needs to cash in on that. And, we talked about it a little bit earlier. Special teams are going to come into play as well.
Yeah, and a lot of people, I'm not saying a lot of people, I've seen Michigan fans talk about Aiden Hutchinson in the Heisman conversation. And I'm not really ready to make that battle yet, but if he comes up with a big play like that today, I mean, then you can maybe have that consideration for him.
Right, 100%. Joey's checking in again. Joey's having a blast right now in Ann Arbor. Let's check in with Joey one more time right now on the Woodward Sports Network. We are live from the Brown Jug in Ann Arbor.
First off, the jersey, you a legend.
I mean, honestly, it was a maze out, and I was like, you know what? I don't want to get a
man! Yeah, buddy! Michigan money line today, $100.
Michigan money line. You heard that here first.
Hey,
I don't want to be a bitch.
That mustache. No, you ain't a bitch. Look at that mustache. You ain't a bitch.
So my ex-girl, she said
just look at the camera and smile.
My ex-girl said she liked that mustache, and I was like, bet. I bet next year will too.
Everybody going buck wild. Why are you three all over here by yourself?
Oh, because we don't want to be in a crowd right now.
Why not?
Because it's nice, relaxing before you get mixed into
Are you going to be going crazy today?
Absolutely crazy.
Buck wild?
Not buck wild.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah. No, we can't say that today.
No.
No buck wild. Wolverine wild.
It's my 4th Wolverine game this season. Hey.
It's not a picture, it's a video.
I say Blue wins by 40.
Oh boy. Okay, let's just go with that.
I think Ohio State.
Yes.
Right?
Ohio State.
Wait, what?
Ohio State.
What about them?
They're gonna win.
No. What the fuck?
Hey, she don't know football or anything. She don't know anything, does she?
This is to Ohio State.
Hey! I don't know who this is, but we're hopping on. We out, boy! We out, boy! And we gotta talk to these boys right here. What you hiding in the jacket?
Nothing, man. Nothing.
Hey, you holding something? You holding something?
Gatorade. It's Gatorade.
Oh, Gatorade. I got you. It's that Ice Mountain Gatorade.
Yeah, dude. How are you guys doing?
What's up, man? I'm Sean Muka. What up, Sean? Who's this?
I'm Gabby.
That's the lady?
That's his girl right here.
That's the lady right here, huh, Sean?
One of my good friends.
Hey, what happened right here, man? What happened?
I'm going for the reverse windmill dunk. You know how it is, man.
Well, you for real?
I wish.
No, you slipped on ice or something.
Nah, I was playing basketball.
Really?
Yeah.
I will do you up one-on-one, man.
Bro, come on. You see the height
difference? Ain't no height difference. Someone ain't raked their leaves. Hey, it's hard on these streets. It's college kids, man.
That is Joey live on the streets of Ann Arbor. As you see, we are live at the Brown Jug right now. Lots of Michigan fans now pouring in, kind of kicked all the Ohio State people out of here, so feel a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah, it definitely feels a lot better in here. Like I said, I couldn't believe the amount of Ohio State people that you've seen around campus too. So it feels a little bit better in here, not as hostile. So definitely a little bit more enjoyable for us.
So we're about 20 minutes away from the end of the pregame, and I want to start getting people's predictions, people's scores, who they think is going to score the first touchdown, all that good stuff. So if you're watching right now on YouTube or you're on Twitter or any of our platforms, make sure you download our app as well, the Woodward Sports app. It's available in Apple or Google Play stores. Just search Woodward Sports. But let us know, what do you think your final score is going to be here today in Ann Arbor at the Big House? I'm going to give my prediction in about 10 minutes. Let's let this girl wants to get in. Bring her in real quick. Let's slide her in. There, Leash. There, girl in blue. Come on, sit down. Sit down. Ever sit down. You, come on, sit down. One of y'all. Come on. Let's go. We're live on the air right now. Let's do this.
Oh, wait. Let me put the hoodie on real quick.
Oh, you're good. Oh, you got to cover that mop. Your ears are cold? That's what the headphones are for. That'll warm you up, man. All right, what's your name?
I'm Toby.
How you doing, Toby? I'm Stick.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, thanks for coming out, man.
Yeah.
Who you here with today?
I'm with some family right now.
This is your family?
Yeah, I don't go to Michigan, but they do, so, like, I'm a supporter now.
That's all right. I couldn't get into Michigan, so that's cool. Don't worry about it.
Me too. Yeah, I go to Clemson. I tried, but I went to
Clemson?
Clemson, yeah.
That's a great school.
It's pretty good.
There's Brock Porter, a kid from Orchard Lake St. Mary's, going to be pitching at Clemson in 2 years. So
that's great.
You guys got a good pitcher coming. So what made you come up here then?
Family.
Just family?
It's Thanksgiving break. Wanted to get out of the South.
Okay.
So I went north where it's colder.
yeah, smart move.
Yeah.
Where are you from originally?
I'm from Hawaii.
Oh, Jesus, man.
Yeah, so I'm not used to the cold. That's why.
You are a traveling man.
Oh, yeah.
So how'd you meet these people?
Well, they're my second cousins right here.
Okay.
And then I got my brother who met us up here, and we're all just had Thanksgiving together as a family.
Do you guys have tickets to the game, or are you going to watch it here at the bar?
We're going to be watching it here at the bar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a final prediction of the score?
Ooh, from what I've heard, Michigan's had like a 10-year losing streak, but I have hope.
You have hope?
I got hope. I've been here for like a week, so I'm feeling pretty good about it.
All right, we're gonna take your word, man.
Yeah,
it's on you. You're gonna, if your opinion's gonna make this happen today.
Oh, don't put it all on me.
It's all on you. So anybody in the chat right now, if they lose, it's all on this guy. You gotta blame Hawaii.
Oh, don't blame Hawaii.
When did you come to mainland from Hawaii?
I got in last week in Michigan.
Okay.
But this is like my first full actual year on the mainland. I've been in Hawaii my whole life. So not used to the cold, getting used to it.
Yeah.
But I love it up here.
Well, welcome to hell, buddy.
No, thank you.
Well, I appreciate you hopping on, man. Thanks have fun during the game. Let's do some shots of some Gypsy vodka after we get off the air here in about 15 minutes.
Oh, yeah, of course,
right?
yeah.
First shot's on me.
Yeah, go Michigan.
Yeah, go blue. All
right, thank you, sir.
Yeah, no problem. We are live at the Brown Jug. I almost said brass rail. That guy's excited to be here, too. Here, just give those back to Nick, and we're all set, man. Yeah. Appreciate it.
No, thank you.
Yeah. I mean, there's random people here. We'd love to talk to them, love to be a part of the community, love to be a part of this. We got some people typing in right now what exactly they think the score is going to be. Proud American thinks the score is going to be 27-16 OSU. 27-16 OSU. Let's see. What else we got? 56-14 Ohio State. Ty Henderson saying that.
We got a 38-14 Michigan by Jordan Dowry.
Yep, Jordan's saying that. And I think that's going to be kind of the theme, you know, like 30-21 Michigan. All right, we got Chris taking Michigan in this game, which is nice. But yeah, what are you thinking score-wise?
Again, like Chad seen me say it, they don't think it's going to be a low-scoring game, but as they just, I mean, seeing pictures of coming out of Ann Arbor right now or out of the stadium, like there was snow falling.
Yeah.
So there's obviously snow in the area. That's why I think it's going to become a bit of a weather game. It's colder outside today. I said it yesterday. I just don't know ultimately if Michigan can keep up with the Ohio State offense. I do think it's going to be low scoring, but I said yesterday I think it's going to be 27-21 Ohio State.
27-21 Ohio State?
Yep.
That's a low-scoring game.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very low-scoring game. And for everybody watching right now on YouTube, make sure you smash that like button, too, so we know that you're there. Got OSU by 107 by Fisher.
It's a bold prediction.
14-15. Michigan wins in overtime with a kick.
See, Mark Schmidt's with me, low-scoring game.
But I'm confused how they get to overtime with that. But either way. Now that would blow my mind if this was like anything in the teens against each other. Hey, what's up, Don Van Team? 35-28. That's my friend Tracy's dad. So shout out to Don. Man, my final prediction in my head when I thought about how Michigan could actually win, I do think that it has to be a close game. I don't think it can be very low scoring, but I don't think it can also be up in the 40s or 50s, right?
Yeah.
So there's kind of this sweet spot for Michigan that I think. And my prediction for the final score, 35 Michigan, 32 Ohio State.
Okay.
So Michigan's covering, obviously. I believe that's the over. And I think, to me, that's the score that makes the most sense in my head because it's not Ohio State blowing up on offense, 31 points or 32 points, but it's still them having a good showing.
Yeah.
And it's not Michigan having this crazy defensive stand either, and it's not Michigan blowing up on offense either. It seems, to me, that's like a steady pace for both teams today.
Who do you think's going to be the difference maker for both these teams today?
I've said it all morning. It's the defensive line for Michigan. It's got to be Hutchinson and Ajabo. And then on the other side, it's got to be Stroud. That's my biggest thing. And I wish I could have been a part of Michigan's practice this week to stress this. And I'm sure Jim Harbaugh has. It's just listen, guys, if we can get this guy to speed up his clock, to throw off his timing, to, even when we don't have pressure, he's feeling the pressure because every play we're getting pressure on him.
Yeah.
That's the only way you could kind of trip up this Ohio State offense, which is damn near unstoppable.
I still want to talk to the guy and figure out how we're going to get a 14-15 score in overtime.
Hey, that's all right.
Maybe first time for everything?
Maybe they're 12-12 going into overtime. You get a safety and a field goal. So that's how I think Michigan has to get there. I just don't know if they can, man. I really don't.
Like I said, you need something special to happen on the defensive side of the ball. You need a punt return, a kick return, or something like that. But don't sleep on a guy like Andrell Anthony, who was pretty big in the Michigan State game. Like we said, we haven't talked about the offense hardly at all with Cade McNamara. He's done a very good job at protecting the ball this year, along with the running backs and Haskins and Corum. So that could be the difference maker too. Is that they're not being talked about enough. They could try to come out and punch Ohio State in the mouth. So there's a lot of factors, but it all depends. I think you're going to really catch a good vibe within the first 5 to 10 minutes of this game.
Hopefully, that's indicative of how the game's going to go. I haven't asked you this. I asked Anthony Broom when he was here from thewolverine.com. I asked Armani, and I spoke to Braylon about it. If Harbaugh loses this game, do you get rid of him? I'm in the camp of hell no.
So I was going back and forth on this, and we actually talked about it on the podcast, the Going to Work podcast that I do, and my buddy who's a big Michigan guy on there, he said absolutely not. And I said, well, when do you get your, when is enough? But there's a lot of fans out there too that are happy with going 11-2 every single year, and even if you lose to Ohio State every year, people still want that consistent. I mean, look what James Franklin he just got paid at Penn State, and he's never really won anything big yet. So people like the consistency, at least knowing their team's going to be competitive each year. Now, I will say Harbaugh this year for me is, I said it early in the year, is that they have to come out and beat teams dominant. Like, they have to dominate a lot of these teams. And they've done that. I think they've done a very good job doing that this year. So for me, I think he as a coach just kind of turned the page a little bit.
Okay.
Necessarily, I don't think you get rid of him after this year, just because I think there has been a good amount of growth. Like we've seen in years past of him not playing the true freshmen just because of the nature of them being freshmen. Like, he's done that. He's thrown McCarthy out there in situations and kind of lived and died by that sword. Like, I mean, he was
at Michigan State. That was not the best call.
Right, but like he's still giving those guys the opportunity, which kind of shows you that like he has switched up his coaching style a little bit to not saying to please the fans, but to at least give him a chance at, he is growing it and he is trying to make some changes. But I truly think when J.J. McCarthy's the QB there at Michigan and full time, if you can't get it done when he's there, then I think you have to look elsewhere. But no, I don't think after this game, if he doesn't pull it out, especially as long as they're competitive today.
That's the main thing.
Yeah.
If they get Michigan stated, or how do I use that as a verb?
They get their ass whooped.
If they get Michigan stated like they did last week, I think then we start having that conversation, because clearly this team is so far away. Like, that's acceptable under the Mel Tucker era right now, because this is the beginning stages of it, right? Like, they're hiring Mel Tucker and paying all that money for future production, not necessarily for what he's already done. For Harbaugh, you don't have that luxury.
Right.
You have to at least be competitive, or it's going to show that your program is leaps and bounds away from Ohio State. And at this point, 7 years in, it shouldn't be.
Yeah, and we talked about it too, is, Harbaugh kind of got paid initially when he came to Michigan for nothing that he had really done yet. So,
well, I mean, at Stanford, he was really good, and obviously he took the 49ers to, some championship games. So, like, he had proven it outside of here.
Right.
Like, Mel Tucker came from Colorado. You're not going to pay a coach from Colorado that type of money, but Harbaugh had the pedigree.
Right.
To me, he earned that check. And if you look at it now, it's almost like for when, the Lions signed Stafford, he was the highest paid quarterback. By the time we traded him, he was like number 10 or 12.
Right.
And if you look at the Big Ten now, yes, sir. If you look at the Big Ten now, where Harbaugh lines up in the salaries, he's mid-pack.
Yeah.
So they didn't really overpay for him. You're getting a top-tier guy now for mid-pack money.
Well, when he was here, I think he was, I may be mistaken, he might have been paid just under Urban Meyer when Urban Meyer was at Ohio State, but he was top pedigree. But it's like Braylon kind of talked about too on the bottom line. He goes, Michigan State's just getting ahead of the curve, and same thing with Penn State of paying, like, a couple years from now, like you're gonna see those quarterbacks coaches getting that type of money across the board. Especially, I'll be interested to see what LSU does and USC does when they go to hire their coaches. Of where does Franklin and where does Mel Tucker rank among coaches that are new to a program.
Nathan's trying to get us to interview the chicks. Nathan, we tried. They were scared, man. They sent over the dude from Hawaii, which I love him. He was nice, but he didn't know shit about what we were talking about.
Why would you leave Hawaii to come to Michigan this time of year?
Why would you leave Hawaii, period?
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. Can you imagine just growing up on an island your whole life? Like, we could drive anywhere we want to go. I don't know. It's a tropical island, so I wouldn't be complaining.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, on a 28-degree day today, and it's snowing outside, beautiful snow coming down here in Ann Arbor, I wouldn't mind growing up in Hawaii.
Yeah, not me neither. Send me out there in a Speedo. Let's do it.
You see a lot of alumni here for Michigan. Obviously, Braylon, who works for the Woodward Sports Network, he said he's going to be on the sidelines for this game. Desmond Howard is out here. I'm sure Charles Woodson's going to make an appearance. Like, I love the family atmosphere and the camaraderie that this rivalry brings out.
It's big, and like I said, when I kind of first came out here, you can feel it in the air. It's got a good feeling to it, and just being, even though we're down the street from the stadium, there's the atmospheres here. It feels special, and who knows? Michigan could pull something special off here today.
Have you ever been in the big house?
I've been actually multiple times. So.
Okay.
I was actually there for the Winter Classic with the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Red Wings. That was unbelievable. One of my favorite sporting events I've ever been to. And like I said, I root for Michigan State when they play Michigan, but I'll root for Michigan when they're not playing Michigan State. But I went to a game, I want to say it was in the Denard Robinson era, and it was against Illinois. and it went to 8 or 9 overtimes. I don't know if you remember that game or not, but the final score was like 67 to 6 or 64. It was one of the most electric football games I've ever been to.
Wasn't Denard the quarterback the last time Michigan beat Ohio State?
He was, yeah, back in 2011.
Good old shoelace, baby. He was so fun to watch.
Yeah, it's crazy that Michigan hasn't beat Ohio State since I graduated high school.
Hey, Alex, can we replay those punt returns? Because, like I was talking about, the one time I was at the big house for the Michigan-Ohio State game is when Charles Woodson was able to return that punt. And that was the year that David Boston was running his mouth saying he was the best wide receiver, and Charles Woodson wasn't very good. And Woodson was able to absolutely dominate that game, not only with an interception on the sideline, but a big punt return. And it was devastating to the Ohio State crowd. And it's crazy to me that since then, that Michigan's only won twice.
Yeah.
But here, let's take a look back at this play. 97, I mean, you see it's a close game. Second quarter, pretty much right before halftime. Look at the weird-looking dude from Ohio State. They got some weird-looking people that play for them.
Bartholomew. How about that for a last name?
Look at that packed big house. And this punt return, this place was absolutely electric. If you're from Michigan and you were around during this time, you know you were jumping out of your seat. And look at how smooth Woodson was. Just smooth, and then nobody's going to catch him. Look at 46. Even though you have the angle, you ain't coming close.
I can't get over it. Look at those shoulder pads back then. Look how big and bulky they were.
Right.
I was like, I don't even know how they ran in those things.
Well, Charles Woodson ran very fast in those things. And I was at that game, and I'm telling you, after that game, this was before the college football playoffs, obviously. Charles Woodson's walking around the field with a rose in his mouth. It was really a great moment. And then here we can take you back to 91, probably the most iconic punt return in Michigan-Ohio State history. And that's all because of the pose at the end. One jab step right, and then boom. Nobody is going to touch this man. Just smokes the entire team down the sideline. And wait for it. Wait for it. Boom! Heisman.
I wish I could remember. I mean, like I said, I wasn't born for anything like that, but I mean, that's still an iconic moment you see every time, almost every weekend. You look at Desmond Howard on College Game Day, like it's something that they show a lot, and you just knew it was a special moment. I think this game's setting up perfectly to have a big moment like that in this game, and the big house is going to be rocking. I can't wait to hear how loud it is in that place. And,
right.
And I think that the fans themselves could play a difference maker with C.J. Stroud in that offense. So if you can get them unnerving, you get a false start early out of that offense, like, boom, you're in it.
Yeah. That's the weird thing about the big house, though, is it holds over 100,000 people, but it's not the loudest stadium you've ever been in. And that's because it's like...
They built it out,
right? They built it out, right, and all the sound goes up. So it's 100,000 people. It's loud, but it's not, like, insanely loud inside, which you would think it would be with that many people.
Yeah, the thing I'll be interested to see is how many Ohio State fans actually got tickets to it. I mean, I'm very active on Twitter, and you see a lot of people who are saying, don't sell your tickets, Ohio State fans, which ultimately you're never going to be able to protect all that.
Chug it, man. Chug it. Yeah. Oh, man, he's doing the whole damn thing.
That's what I'm talking about.
Good Lord. Yeah. What's your name, man? Omar.
Let's go.
Go blue, Omar. Go blue, baby. Go blue. Omar's ready to party. He came to play today. Yeah. Everybody watching right now on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and like. We do great programming here at the Woodward Sports Network. I'm so glad to have you guys around. We are just about, 15 minutes away from kickoff. I'm not even playing in the game, and I'm getting nervous, and I don't have any affiliation with either of these schools.
Yeah, neither do I. But, I mean, if you love sports, this is it's rivalry weekend. Yes. I mean, this is a game that when I was brought up, this is a game you always heard talked about, and now it has that energy back in it. I get Michigan has only won twice in the last 20 years, but today's different. Today's feels different for this program. I believe Michigan has taken the right steps. That they seem to be back. Like I said, Harbaugh has done a lot of good things for that Michigan program this year. Now can he win it? He won a big game against Penn State earlier this year, and I know people are saying that Penn State's not that good, but it doesn't matter. He still did it.
Franklin just got paid, so they're happy with what he's doing there.
So I'll be very interested in Jim Harbaugh. I mean, I interviewed him during one of our high school football games that we covered. So I can't help but root for the guy a little bit.
No, hey, man, I'm rooting for Harbaugh. I'm rooting for Michigan in this game. It'd be nice to shut some Ohio people up eventually. You know, they've had their run.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
And I think now's the time it comes to an end. I haven't felt this good about a Michigan team going into the Ohio State game in a long time.
Right, yeah. I mean, you've had your chances in years past, and ultimately Ohio State was just that much better. I mean, you've seen some of the guys go through that program, but like you said, Michigan's got the two big guys on defense with Ajabo and Hutchinson, and I believe those boys are going to bring it today. But like I said, I've said it several times, it's going to come down to a special play for Michigan if they want to get it done.
Yeah, and let's do this. If you're in the chat right now on YouTube, let's give away some Woodward sports stuff. If you guess the score and who scores the first touchdown, we'll hook you up with a Woodward Sports hoodie and a T-shirt. So if you guys are watching right now, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, guess the score, who's going to score the first touchdown. Joey's here.
Joey's back.
Joey, hop in here real quick. I got to get your final score prediction. Joey, as you've seen, has been out all over Ann Arbor. They drunk out there, Joey.
Whew. Man, that was so much fun. So much fun today. And I got to say, they were powered by Gypsy Vodka on these streets today. They had to have been.
Oh, everybody was feeling it. I love the orange Dr. Pepper that I saw. That was,
dude, everybody always hides it in, like, Dr. Pepper, Ice Mountain. Like, I know Ice Mountain is not yellow.
I love how they do it in, like, clear containers. It's like, what are you doing? Joey, so how the vibe on the street? Because me and Leach were just talking that this feels good. Today feels good.
It feels good, and I'm sorry, MSU fans. I hope it's a different outcome than you guys had. I know every MSU fan's probably like, I hope they get their ass beat as well.
Right.
I feel different this year. Really, seeing Ohio State's offense just punch up numbers does scare me because they have that ability to just score so easily versus Michigan. We got to work for every single point, so it's really going to come down to our defense today to really just stay strong and just do what they got to do, and then Michigan's offense can have zero mistakes today.
Right. Yes, that's the truth. Michigan has to play a perfect game if they want to win. And they have to have some luck, too, along the way, like a turnover or something on special teams.
It is. It's tough. It sucks, but that's what this rivalry is all about. I'm sick of this. How many years is it now? 8 years that we've been losing?
Yeah. Would have been 9 last year had we played them, but it did not happen. Well, kickoff is about to start. We are live at the Brown Jug in Ann Arbor. Yeah, it's snowing. It's beautiful. Kirk Herbstreit, even though he went to Ohio State, is a beautiful man. He's looking fine on the TV right now. Everybody that's watching on YouTube, thank you for being a part of the pregame show live from the Brown Jug. And like I said, don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to like right now. We want you to be a part of Woodward Sports. This is what we do. We go out, we hang out with people. People are asking, why are you guys at a bar? Because this is where people are.
Oh, yeah.
We don't like to sit up on a stage away from everybody, unattainable. No, I want Omar to come behind me and chug his damn beer because that's what it's all about. This is the type of sports coverage that you want.
Oh, yeah. Look,
all three of them.
Look at this. She got pictures. Yeah. They posted it on the gram.
Yeah, they're sitting. Oh, no.
Oh. It's the ugly Ohio State.
Lee Corso just put on the Buckeye head. Yeah, drink. All three of you drink out of that. Go, go, go.
Chug it. Chug it real quick. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there they go. That's going to result in a win. Because of you, Michigan wins. I love the ladies up here. So enjoy the game, everybody. Thank you for watching. Make sure you follow, like, love Woodward Sports. Download the app. We're on every social media platform that you can imagine. And thank you guys so much for watching. Yeah.
Everybody watching today.
We banging right now, baby.
We are banging. Thanks for watching, supporting Woodward Sports. It is officially game time.
Yeah, we are out of here. Hopefully we're able to talk to you on Monday about a big Michigan dub. Have a good one, everybody. Live from Ann Arbor at the Brown Jug. Thank you to Gypsy Vodka. Thank you to Alex Westfall. Thank you to Nick Leach. And, of course, my man Joey. Go Blue!